Well, good evening, racing fans. Welcome to racing action from Grand River Raceway for this Labor Day Monday evening. Our first race will go to post in approximately 20 minutes. Blue skies mostly overhead, a few fluffy little clouds, but blue skies, a fast track, and slightly on the mild side, but still an overall nice day in Elora, Ontario. 10 races for your harness racing excitement on this evening. Let's get a look at the changes on the card. And note in race number 1, we have a driver change. On number 4, Faithful's Nola. The driver will be Anthony Hahn. Anthony Hahn drives for Faithful's Nola, race 1. Race number 2. Number 2, Molise is scratched. Race 2, scratched to Molise. In race number 3, number 5, Fox Valley Mikey is scratched. Race 3, scratch 5, Fox Valley Mikey. Race number 4, She's in Control. Ryan DeRoche will drive. That is race 4, number 4, She's in Control. Ryan DeRoche. Races 5 and 6, no changes. No changes, races 5 or 6. Race number 7, 1 Tierra Dancer, driver to be announced. Race 7, 1 Tierra Dancer, driver to be announced. Races 8 and 9 have no changes. No changes, races 8 or 9. And the 10th race, 1 Quick Tour is scratched. Race 10, scratch 1 Quick Tour. Once again, reviewing races 1 and 2. Race number 1, Anthony Hahn drives for Faithful's Nola. And in the second race, scratched is number 2, Molise. It is currently 17 minutes to post time to our first dash, and time to welcome in our co-host for racing action on this Monday evening, Robert Reed Jr. Robert, how are you doing? And also tell me about your harness racing weekend. What caught your fancy this past weekend in harness racing?
It was a great weekend in harness racing across Ontario, and I'll pick out 2 highlights. One was yesterday at Clinton Raceway, Gary, the Drivers' Challenge there on closing day. Always a fantastic day of racing, and Trevor Henry emerged victorious and showed just how good he is on the half-mile circuit. We've seen that here as well at Grand River over the years, and of course he was a master of the shorter ovals, years back. So great day at Clinton yesterday. And hey, last Saturday night, Mohawk Park, just an incredibly stacked card, Grand Circuit events, eliminations for big races coming up. Just an amazing night of racing top to bottom. And, Bulldog Hanover gave one of the greatest performances I've ever seen in elimination for the North America Cup. And Desperate Man wasn't too far off him. So a real nice weekend of harness racing action. Spent some time with the family as well. Even squeezed in a fantasy football draft today on this Labor Day, holiday. So just a great weekend all around. But usually I say we're going to kick your week off right. Well, you know what? We're going to finish off your long weekend on the right foot. This time here at Grand River Raceway in Elora, Ontario, with 10 dashes on this card. I think it looks like a pretty formful one. A couple horses I might take a shot on to beat some favorites, but mostly, I think it looks like a formful night of racing here at the River. And, of course, we always get kicked off in the opener with our guaranteed pick 5 of $2,500. And, Gary, very shortly, we will be showing our tickets, our suggested wagers for that bet. And we'll do that in just a few moments.
The Ontario Select Sale returns in 2021. The sale will be held September 26th at Winback Farm of Canada in Inglewood, Ontario. The sale will be live and have online bidding available. It also features first Ontario crop yearlings from My MVP. Sale consignment also highlighted by yearlings from Art Speak, Better Than Cheddar, and Shadow Play. For more information, visit OntarioSelectYearlingSale.com.
All right, folks. Well, 8 minutes away until our opener. You know what that means? It's pick five time. Guaranteed pool of $2,500. Right now, just under $1,400 in the pool so far. That will continue to grow. Gary and I have mapped out some suggested tickets for you, as we always do. Let's take a look at mine first. And interestingly enough, I'm going with two singles in this ticket tonight. That I realized that the pick five that I submitted at Mohawk Park tonight is two singles as well. So maybe I just, feeling a couple of keys in each of those pick five sequences. Well, in this one here at Grand River, though, I am singling JM Sports Fan in the opening leg. Right now, 2-1 on the board, now 5-2. I think that this filly is, pound for pound, the best filly in the race. And broke two starts back last time, really didn't get an ideal trip scenario. I'm hoping she rebounds tonight. I'm going to single her in the opener from the pole position. Second leg for trotters, and some young trotters in there. So I'm going to go four deep. Use 4 of the 6 with the 1, 3, 4, and 5. Number 4, Fika, is my top selection, but I want to be 4 deep in there. Look for a price. And the third leg, I'm all in on number 3, Donahue Sealster. I really like the way this 2-year-old gelding raced last time. Has had the trailing post in both of his lifetime starts so far. Now gets post 3 to work from with his nose on the gate. I really like Donahue Sealster, but he should be a very short price in that dash in the third. In the fourth, going 4 deep, keeping it inside again, the 1, 2, 3, and 4. I can assure you I did handicap this. I didn't just go with the inside numbers. And then the last leg, the money leg, inside again, 1, 2, and 3. Number 2, Blue Monk, is my top selection. I think that, should like a slight drop down in class here and the shorter track here at Grand River after being a speedster over at Georgian in his last two, but also think Cutting Glass and Elroy Shiner have a chance. So there you have it, $9.60 for a 20-cent ticket. But let's see what Mr. Gary Guy has for us on this holiday Monday.
Well, we start off with basically about the same idea, although in race number 1, I have 2 horses, the 1 and 3. I agree with you on James Sports Fan, but I wanted to also add 3 Ms. Megan Sparkle because it comes in off of a couple of pretty good races. And I didn't want to be knocked out in the first race in case James Sports Fan didn't live up to that billing. But if James Sports Fan races up to her ability, she should dominate. Race number 2. I only have 2 of the trotters, though I agree with you. Young trotters, you might want more, but I just have Fika and Oki Healy on the inside, the 4 and the 1. And in the third race, well, I do think that 3 Donahue Sealster is clearly the one to beat. That was a great effort last time out. And tough barn Chris Haskell's got 12 wins and 32 starters on the year. But I added in 6 Ducks Paparazzi. Missed 24 days before that last race. Tailed off a little bit late, but had a 27 3/3 panel. Now comes back on a regular rotation. Just taking a flyer on Ducks Paparazzi in case Donahue Sealster doesn't back up that last race. Race number 4, well, in race number 4, I have the 1, 2, and 4. I do think that 1 Precious Amber is the one in there, but have 3 horses. And in the final leg, the 2 and the 3, 2 Blue Monk and 3 Cutting Class. So $9.60, the same kind of price, but I have a lot more symmetry in my picks. A pair in 4 of them and 3 in the fourth leg, Rob.
All right, well, there you have it. Similar but different, we'll say this time. $9.60 for both the tickets, and there are 12 combinations that would make both Gary and I a winner this evening. And, of course, that is exactly what I am cheering for. But let's take a closer look at the opener. So fillies and mares, non-winners of $35,000 lifetime. Purse of $8,400. And again, I really like JM Sports Fan. I'm looking for her to rebound here. Was a nice winner in numbers of $15,000, 3 starts back. Then 2 starts back, was bet down to a heavy favorite in this class, and then made a break in stride. And then, last time I think just the trip scenario didn't really work out. They didn't go much fractions up front, and she ended up first over and finished 4th on the end of it. I think, getting reunited with Robert Shepard tonight, the pole position, I'm hoping she rebounds with a victory. Right now, 7-2. I'm surprised she's at that price. I thought she would take a lot more support than that. And for second, I went to number 3, Miss Megan Sparkle. This is one that's raced pretty well. A couple of seconds in her last 2. I would say she's an improving type. And I think, she might be able to get off the gate well enough tonight to get a piece of it. I see that Ontario Racing with Miss Megan Sparkle on top, and all the other handicappers are in agreement with the 1 and 3 being the top 2. Number 6, Sports Check, is an interesting one. last time grassroots race over at Dorito Carlton didn't really fire, but that was against a pretty tough group. And before that at Mohawk Park, if you go further down, there's some decent races in Sports Check's form, but still 1 for 9 in the season. Gets Lasix again tonight. Bet down to 3-2 right now from the outside post. That's too short for me, and I thought that just based on the quality of competition she's been facing and the times you see in the program that she would take support tonight. I thought she'd be maybe the co-favorite or the second choice to JM Sports Fan. But 3-2 is definitely too short for me right now on number 6 Sports Check. And then number 2, Dazzlin' Rosie. Dazzlin' Rosie took all the early money again. It wasn't much in the pool, when it first opened, but Dazzling Rosie actually opened off as an even money, co-favorite, I believe, and Ross Batten still sitting at 4,998 career wins, so closing in still, or trying to get to that 5,000, milestone. And Dazzling Rosie is an interesting one because I think she's raced pretty good here, in her last few, and she really sat inside trips and finished with pace. And if she could ever get a 2-hole trip or put into a position like that where she's close at the wire, I think she might be able to get there, and she's a win threat for sure. She is a nice mare, and maybe from post 2 tonight, that's the trip she gets. 6-1 on the board right now. I'd say she is good value at that price, but we'll see what she ends up at come post time. But I'm sticking with JM Sports Fan, who just got whacked down to 4-5. I thought she'd probably be around 6-5 or 7-5 in here, and hopefully she'll float up a little bit before post time. But I see the filly mares are moving out onto the track. We'll come back and talk about it in just a few moments with Gary Guy.
Field 4, race number 1's on parade. 1, JM Sports Fan, Robert Shepard for Isabel Darvaux and Jason and Gordon Redmond. And number 2 is Dazzling Rosie, Ross Batten for Dr. Paul Rutherford. Number 3, Miss Megan Sparkle, Salamore for Mark McCormick and Megan McCormick. Number 4 is Faithful's Nola, Anthony Hahn for Randy Fulmer and Ernest Nucio. 5 is Sophia Lolita, Doug Brown for Mike Wade and Anna Marie Colville and Ken Glass. And number 6 is Sports Check. It is Austin Asori for Blake McIntosh and Frugal Not Cheap Stable and Daniel Plouffe. Field of 6, race number 1, kicking off the pick 5. Let's get a look at this field. And there is one JM Sports Fan getting a lot of love already with 5 wins on the board in their career. 2 this year. JM Sports Fan, the 2 wins this year here, one by 12 plus and the other one by 3. And both of those very, very impressive efforts, but a little bit different in style. Do you think the style here for JM Sports Fan, inside post, just rocket off the gate?
I would sure hope so, and I think that's probably your best chance here. Last time, post 4 got away 5th and then ended up coming first over, but the second half breather I think kind of did her in, the one that the leader got, and then they kind of sprinted in the third quarter. She went 27-3 in her own third quarter, and I think that just really was not a trip that agreed with her. I think she races well off the helmet, or she races well on the lead. So I'm hoping that she goes to the front, from that pole position, or at worst ends up maybe in the 2-hole Gary and then removes on them. I feel strongly she is the best one in the race, 4-5 on the board right now, and I would say that the right price would probably be more like 7-5, so she's a bit short right now.
Number 3, Ms. Megan Sparkle, is the one that I believe will wind up being second on the tote board, but is not there right now. Ms. Megan Sparkle, do you think this one can leave well enough? Is there a way of finding the pocket trip, or is Dazzlin' Rosie going to leave and get that spot? How does Miss Megan Sparkle try to get the trip to beat James Sports Fan?
just blasting out, I think, and trying to get her even around both of them, and then letting Jan Schwartzman come back around. Dazzling Rosie is an interesting one because she shows speed, in some of her efforts, and I think she's fast enough off the gate to maintain her spot and behind Jan Schwartzman. So it might have to be that Miss Megan Sparkle gets around both of them to actually get the lead or the two hole. So that's kind of the X factor to me. Dazzling Rosie is kind of the question mark and what she's going to do. But I certainly think that Miss Megan Sparkle's best chance is to blast off the gate and be forwardly placed. And I just looked at her last few lines and thought, okay, well, she's finished second in her last two, and both times they were decent efforts. And I think she should get every chance to do that again if she can get forwardly placed off the gate.
Well, a pretty formful filly. That's a look at number 6, Sports Check. And Sports Check is one, as you mentioned, that shows some better lines a little further down the page. And enough speed to be leery because this one does show a 53-mile, just about 4 or 5 back at Woodbine. Sports Check in Austin, 12-1. Maybe that could be a flyer, especially if you don't like 1-5, which who does?
Yeah, a little bit surprised that the prices floated up that much. I thought she'd take support just based on the times in the program and the competition she's been racing against. It's a tough task from the outside draw, post 6 and the outermost post in this actual dash. She gets back in the Lasix program, and she's got a few decent races throughout her form this season, but she still is 1 for 9. I thought she'd be bet down, maybe even down to like second or third favorite. So surprised she's holding a 10-1 right now.
And there is number 2, Dazzlin' Rosie, on the board at 4-1 right now. You mentioned took early money. Dazzlin' Rosie, Ross Batten, just 2 away from 5,000, and a long-time successful horseman. Dazzlin' Rosie on the track, Rob.
Yeah, I think she's got some talent, this mare, and I think we've seen her kind of finish in the third spot, and she's hit the board in 7 of 12 this season. Last year hit the board in all 6, and she's got 4 wins in her career, and she's been a relatively high percentage winner. So I'm waiting for this one to get a more ideal trip, and when she does, she might fire and cause an upset. She's taken a significant amount of support tonight at 4-1. So now 9-2, and if she trips out the right way, she might make some noise in the lane.
Well, Jam Sports Fan is your key in the pick 5 at 1-2, and I have a couple of them in there. You know which one I'm cheering for, right?
Oh, definitely. You're cheering for Miss Megan Sparkle.
Giddy up, 7-2 on the board, Miss Megan Sparkle. Not really a team player, I guess. It's a field of 6. Just as we're just about to getting ready, any other comments that you see? 9-1 still on Sports Check with 1-2. How low would you be willing to go, or would you be willing to take a flyer?
I probably wouldn't because of post 6, and there's a gap in her schedule, but there's also a gap in JM Sports Fan's schedule as well. The horse that is just intriguing for me to watch, and I'm curious to see how she does here at Grand River, is number 5, Sophia Lolita. I've always been a fan of the horse, and she really hasn't done much of late at Georgian Downs. She's over 15 on the season, 23 on the board. I want to watch her for next time. I'll have a keen eye on her because I've always thought she's a mare that has some ability, and maybe just lately hasn't been able to find her best stride.
You do see her sometimes racing against tougher than what she would be facing in here, so that could be interesting. Is 0 in the win column, but you do get Doug Brown. We're talking about Ross Batten, 2 away from 5,000. Well, Doug Brown recently got to 8,500. Downtown Dougie Brown is 22-1 with Sophia Lolita, Rob.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? I remember many times at Greenwood Raceway, he'd save my bacon when I was having a bad night in my much younger days.
Well, the line always was, when you're down, bet on Brown. Field of 6. Taking up their positions, it is Jam Sports Fan, Dazzlin' Rosie on the inside. In the center, Ms. Megan Sparkle, Faithful's Nola. To the outside, Sophia Lolita and Sports Check. It's a field of 6. Race number 1. Field is taking up their positions. Field 4, race number 1. Is at the top of the stretch. Here they come. Field 4, race number 1. is at the start of the round. Miss Megan Sparkle, Champ Sports Fan, Sports Check on the outside, Dazzlin' Rosie. And then it is back further as they work around the turn to Faithful's Nola and Sophia Lolita. JM Sports Fan made a break in stride. Miss Megan Sparkle now has inherited the lead, and Sports Check is racing second. Dazzlin' Rosie third. Then it is Faithful's Nola and Sophia Lolita. Ms. Megan Sparkle has the lead as they race on to the opening quarter. Ms. Megan Sparkle at 2-1 now. Sports Check is right there in the pocket. Dazzlin' Rosie third. Faithful's Nola is fourth. And then it is Sophia Lolita. 28-2 is the opening quarter. Ms. Megan Sparkle has a lead of a length and a half. Sports Check is racing second. Dazzlin' Rosie third. And then Faithful's Nola and Sophia Lolita as they race off the turn. And they roll on towards us, and way back is Jam Sports Fan after that break on the first turn. Off at 28-2 opening quarter. Looking for a breather, Ms. Megan Sparkle and Tyler Moore. And they race past that opening quarter. 1 minute, a 31-3 second panel for Ms. Megan Sparkle. They race into the backstretch, and it's a lead of a length and a half. Sports Check is right there. One to keep an eye on in the pocket, and behind Ms. Megan Sparkle. There goes Dazzlin' Rosie right now. Dazzlin' Rosie is moving up on the outside, and now has come on to take over second. Sports Check is on the inside third. Then it is Faithful's Nola and Sophia Lolita. Ms. Megan Sparkle as they race on up to three quarters, 1:30-1. And it is Ms. Megan Sparkle. Dazzlin' Rosie isn't done yet and is digging on the outside and is ahead off the lead, challenging Ms. Megan Sparkle. Sports Check on the inside third. Faithful's Nola and Sophia Lolita. Ms. Megan Sparkle as they turn on down the stretch drive. Ms. Megan Sparkle is striding sharply to the finish up the inside. Sports Check. Ms. Megan Sparkle will win. Sports Check was second. Then finishing third was Dazzlin' Rosie. 1:59 flat, race number one. Ms. Megan Sparkle did leave well, but then it was benefited by the break and one Jam Sports Fan, Rob.
Yeah, that's what we discussed with Miss Megan Sparkle. Her best option would be to try to leave and get the lead around them. And then, of course, Jam Sports Fan, didn't handle that first turn again. Similar to what she did two starts back. She had post two in that occasion. She was trying to push out. And then when she got a little bit crowded, she didn't like it and she jumped it off. So, maybe it's just, leaving from the inside for her might not be the best spot. I was hoping that pole position would be good for her tonight. It ended up not being, so positive. And Miss Megan Sparkle goes all the way in the front end. Sports Check, rode the pocket, ended up only getting beat about half a length. And Dazzlin' Rosie, probably got a pretty ideal scenario tonight with the favorite breaking and then being able to come first over. But with that second quarter breather for Miss Megan Sparkle, she was going to be pretty tough to beat.
And plus just that half of 1 minute for this classification, because you see last time out, Jam Sports Fan was fourth in 55-2, racing at a level around this one. So, 1 minute flat to the half. But actually, Sports Check made it a little more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, definitely came up the inside there, and got back down to 4-1 Sports Check, and that was even maybe still a shade higher than I expected to see on that one. But hey, still a decent effort. And Miss Megan Sparkle, you mentioned that she was a formful filly, and she's been knocking at the door in her last couple. And sitting, trips in behind the leader. This time she got to cut it out. Maybe she wouldn't have if Jam Sports Fan didn't run, but still one that was trending in the right direction and got the job done.
Well, you do see earlier this year the two wins were both at Clinton, making the lead. So that certainly was beneficial for Ms. Megan Sparkle. 3-6-2-4 is the top four on the board, and Ms. Megan Sparkle, a 3-year-old Big Jim Bay filly, owned by Mark and Megan McCormick. Mark McCormick is the trainer. Tyler Moore is the winning driver. Ms. Megan Sparkle, third win this year, sixth lifetime, 159 flat. The first race payouts 3. Ms. Megan Sparkle 650, $3 to 30. 6 Sports Check 510, 310 to Dazzle and Rosie 390. $2 exactor 38.20. The dollar try 44.60. The dollar super 95.80.
All right, Miss Megan Sparkle getting it done in race number 1. That keeps Gary alive in his pick 5, sadly. My ticket goes down again tonight. I singled the favorite. Oh, well, we'll move on to race 2 and cheer for Gary's ticket because, as always, I'm a team player. We've got non-winners of 5,000 lifetime trotters in this second dash of the evening. And I went to number 4, Fika on top. I just think this filly, might enjoy getting back here to Grand River. I am concerned that the one time she went around this track, she did make a break in stride in a qualifier, but her last 3 were in non-winners of 1 at Mohawk Park, and Ida Princess, Valley Hanover, all those horses she's been facing would be big time favorites in here, and she hasn't really been too far off of them. So I think Fika is one that you've got to respect in here. I am concerned though with that break and stride, but really you've got to be concerned about that with everyone in this field with the younger trotters. So I did go to number 4, Fika on top. I do like number 1, Oki Healy in for second right now, 3-1 on the board. You get the pole position to work from, and this filly's had that in her last 2. She took on some pretty difficult rivals too in the balanced image elimination, where Lily's last was a winner, and that's a pretty strong group she faced off against. She got beat almost 9 lengths, but certainly didn't embarrass herself in there. And before that, did pick up a third in the OSS Grassroots at Hanover. So Oki Healy is one I think you have to consider, but I just give the edge to Fika too because she's a 3-year-old filly versus a 2-year-old filly, and I know we're getting later in the season, but I still think that does hold a bit of an edge for number 4, Fika. Number 3, First Hair, is one that I think you might want to look at as a price play. Opened off at a big number, now down to 4-1. He's a 4-year-old gelding, so he's got a big time maturity edge over this group. Now he is winless still in his career, and he's had 22 starts over the last 2 seasons, so that's a concern. But I don't know. I just keep coming back to this one as one that might be able to upset in here. He's got a maturity edge. He's been facing tougher at Georgian Downs, 9-2 on the board right now. Would want a bigger price on him. Number 5, Epic Thrill. This one here I've seen some decent efforts from this season, especially 2 back at Hanover. Might see that here tonight from this Blair Burgess trainee. Blair will be aboard in the bike as well. Right now, 7-1 on the board. Definitely some value there, but these are 2 or younger trotters and sometimes a tricky race to handicap. See, they're making their way onto the track though, so we'll come back again and talk about it with Gary Guy in just a few moments.
Field for the second is on parade, and 1 is Oki Healy, Wayne Henry for Henry Stable. Number 2 is Scratched. And number 3 is First Air. It's Travis Henry for Brian Wick and Donna Wick. And number 4 is Fika Pat Hudon for Van Camp Trotting and Bradley Maxwell. Number 6, Jewel of Hessen, Bruce Richardson for Joe Coffey and Morley Bosworth and Peter Irwin. And there is a 7. The correction is 5. Big Thrill, Blair Burgess for RAW1 and James Walker and Corinne Olsen Burgess. And 7, Infinity Stone, Brian Dunbar drives and trains for John Sinclair. Field of 6, race number 2, Scratched is Stu Molise, and we'll look at this field. Both of us, we have Fika, Rob here, and well, the one thing that I think, if you really look at the lines, I think the line that actually jumps out is the August 17th line at Mohawk. So after a 30-2 opening quarter, did trot the next 3 panels in 127-3. So that probably flashes that she's got the best speed in here, but that qualifier here, July the 21st, the only time she's been here, it wasn't very good. It was kind of rough.
Yeah, she made multiple breaks and strides. She looks good on the track right now. Looks pretty smooth out there for Pat Hudon. And I do like her last 3 lines at Mohawk Park. That's a bigger surface, though. So I put her on top thinking that she might hold, a speed edge and might just be faster than many in here. And she's got a maturity edge on a couple of them anyways. And I do have that concern, though, with that qualifier here. And not enough that I didn't put her on top, but, I like the way she looks on the track right now, but we'll have to see, when the gate flies away if she can stay on her best behavior.
Number one, Oki Healy, a 2-year-old filly. And Oki Healy is one that makes just a fifth start, but you do see this one finishing third in a grassroots and does show getting off the gate well enough from inside posts, the last two in Hanover. Oki Healy should be able to be a trip horse, and on the inside, 2-1, bet down a bit, but still certainly warrants the regard against the favorite Fika.
Yeah, I think so. And the thing about this one is she hasn't made a miscue since that original qualifier here at Grand River on July the 7th, and I like that in these types of races because if you've got one that you think is going to stay flat, well, that might be half the battle. And this one has the pole position; she should get away well enough. And last time in the balanced imaged. That's against much tougher. Lily's Last would be a 1-9 shot in here, and even higher if our parimutuel system allowed it. So I think that Oki Healy is one that warrants a lot of respect in here. I just went with Fika because she does have that maturity edge to 3-year-old.
And the thing to note with Oki Healy, now the last 4 trips over a half-mile track stayed flat, 1 qualifier and then 3 races. So has that stability and the inside. Number 3, First Air and Travis Henry, one that is winless yet, 22 tries, but shows some speed littered throughout the card. In fact, you see at Georgian Downs 2 races ago, the first 3 quarters were good before tailing off in that final quarter.
Yeah, I thought last effort was, I'll say it was okay, and I think it matches up decently enough against this group. I don't like the 5-2 on the board right now. I thought, you got a horse that has been winless in that many, we'd see a bigger price on this one. I like the fact that it is a 4-year-old gelding, and against younger horses and for the most part fillies in here. So I think that does give him a bit of an edge, but. And then also, Georgian Downs, I would say those are a little bit tougher, but made a break here at Grand River from the 7-hole last time on July the 28th, last time over this surface. I don't like 5-2. I thought this horse was more of maybe a price play to put into the exotics.
And I'll tell you one thing, number 5, Epic Thrill, that race at Georgian Downs August the 3rd in the grassroots, she was going really well before making that break. She got out well and was in the thick of things and then dropped out of it and was going pretty quickly at the time, 20 4 third panel, but throughout that point up until the break, was looking really solid.
Yeah, and what an impossible trip here, Gary, on July 23rd. It was 3 wide, for a long way and actually got interfered with as well. And, ended up finishing 8 1/4 lengths back from Rolly and Clover, who's a pretty, decent rival. And Oki Healy was actually in that race and beat this one by, about 4 lengths, but also didn't have to go, the similar trip that Epic Thrill did. So I think Epic Thrill does give a little bit of value on the board right now at 7-1, and if that price holds, might be worth a play.
If she could race back to that August 3rd and stay flat, she could be really, really a factor, and you get the much better price at 6-1. And also, throughout the whole program, looking at her lines, you only see one X mark. You don't like seeing those X's beside the trot line, so Epic Thrill at least has only one of those, and that was just that one that we mentioned at Georgian Downs. It is a field of 6 for race number 2, the second leg of the Pick 5, and they're taking up their positions. Oki Healy on the inside with First Air. In the center, Fika, Epic Thrill. To the outside, Jewel of Hessen and Infinity Stone. Field of 6, race number 2, post time. Field 4, race number 2. Is reaching the top of the stretch. Here they come. And the field for the second race. At the start of the round, First Air, Oki Healy on the inside. And then from the outside, Jewel of Hessen and Infinity Stone. Then it is Fika and Epic Thrill. The field works around the turn, and Oki Healy on the inside with the lead. Jewel of Hessen has broken stride. First Air is racing second. Then Fika is positioned third as they race their way on down the backstretch. On the inside, Epic Thrill, and to the outside, Infinity Stone. And they race their way on up to the opening quarter. Oki Healy leads it by a length and a half in first. Air is racing second. Infinity Stone is still working on the outside. 31 seconds, the opening quarter, and Infinity Stone is third and is going to continue to drive towards the front. And then racing fourth is Fika, and then it is back to Epic Thrill. And the field works on around the turn. It is Oki Healy. First Air on the inside. Infinity Stone on the outside of a 31-second opening quarter. The field comes up to the half, and Oki Healy's got the lead. And First Air is racing second. Infinity Stone to the inside. Now here comes Fika now on the move for Hurricane Hudon. And then it is Epic Thrill. 102-4 is the halftime. And it is Oki Healy as the field works into the backstretch. Oki Healy, First Air, is right there in the pocket. And on the outside, Fika's racing first up third, but still has 3 lengths to make up against Oki Healy. On down the backstretch they go. And then Epic Thrill is racing fourth. Infinity Stone is fifth to the inside. Oki Healy leads as they hustle on to 3/4. Oki Healy. And then on the inside, First Air. On the outside, Fika. And Epic Thrill is racing second over fourth, getting some urging to stay uptight as they race their way on by 3/4, 133-3, and it is Oki Healy as the field is about to turn for home. First Air, Fika still has work to do, as does Epic Thrill. They come on down the stretch drive, and Oki Healy on down the stretch drive they come, and Oki Healy was okay in the second to win it. Fika was finishing second at the finish, and then First Air and Epic Thrill. 2:04 flat, race number 2. Oki Healy just did nothing wrong. Used that inside post position, gets the front, and was able to be smooth. And also 102-4 helped the matter, Rob.
Yeah, for sure. That second quarter breather and that half to 102-4 obviously will always help you out. And that's the one thing about this filly, right? She's definitely steady on her feet. She pushed out to the lead, and Fika, I think Paihuda did a great job keeping this one, on her game tonight and staying trotting. And I'm not really sure how much he was able to drive her around the turns. You can see on the turns, he's got to take a pretty big hold of her. And then she kind of flies in the straightaway. So, maybe one that prefers the bigger surface, but with maybe some more efforts over the shorter track might get used to it. But I don't really think he could really let her out a notch on that last turn.
Yeah, and still beaten a neck, so 1-4 is the top two. They were the two that took all the money. In fact, one Oki Healy dropped down to 6-5, and 4 Fika went off at 4-5. But those were the top two that were the ones that we put the most focus on, Rob.
Yeah, definitely. They look at the two that probably, stood out. I went 4 deep in the pick 5, thinking maybe one of them would make a mistake. The horse that made a mistake was number 6, Jewel of Hessen. The rest of them all stayed flat. And, I thought Epic Thrill, got a decent trip. The problem is with the fractions, what chance did Epic Thrill really have? I think that's one to keep an eye on for next time. And First Air, got a nice trip in the 2-hole. I thought maybe he might make some noise turning for home, but just wasn't able to get to Oki Healy. But, Fika's one to watch, because I think as, she gets more starts under her belt, we're going to see her probably a little more sure-footed. And again, she was flying in the straightaway.
It comes in a 1-4-3-5. Mile of 2:04. Coming back in front of us is number 1, Oki Healy, a 2-year-old Sungo Dream, that brown filly. Henry Stable is the owner. Wayne Henry, the trainer and driver. And it is the first win for Oki Healy, 2:04 flat. The second race payouts won. Oki Healy, 460, 220, 210. 4 Fika, 230, 210. 3 First Air, 290. $2 exactor, 970. $1 Try, 1710. $1 Super, 36.80. Note the double of 3 and 1, $35.
All right, the winner of race 2, Oki Healy. That keeps Gary's pick 5 ticket alive. Hopefully you're alive as well. Over $5,100 bet into that pick 5 pool this evening. If you're not alive like myself, you might as well jump into the early pick 4 wager for as low as 20 cents. Start mapping out your winning tickets. Over $1,200 in that pool already, and it will continue to climb up until post time. We've got 2-year-olds on the pace in this race. Non-winners of 4,000 lifetime, and I was uber impressed with number 3 Donahue Sealster last time. Even you look at this horse's last 2 starts. Lifetime debut August the 15th at Clinton. Known as the 3,000 life against older horses. Ended up finishing third, beating 15 to Spicy P. That is one of the older rivals in the race, who was a pumped up winner on that occasion. Trailing post for that start. Came back here against fellow 2-year-olds from the trailing post. Got away in the 2-hole off the gate, so very handy off the gate. Donahue Sealster to get the 2-hole off the switch behind the horse that left out from the pole position, and then got up to win by a length and a quarter in the stretch, and did it kind of easy. So now nose on the gate, high percentage connections. I think Donahue Sealster should enjoy this compact field that he faces tonight and find the winner's circle once again. I think he's going to be tough to beat, folks. And 4 to 5 on the board, that's no surprise. Wouldn't be surprised, actually, if he goes off at a shorter price come post time. In for second, number 1, Roll with the Flow. Gets the advantage of having the rail tonight. Had that position 3 starts ago here and finished second to Athens Sealster, who was a rock solid winner on that occasion, and has been one that's been kind of in the mix every single start here at Grand River since the debut here in Ontario when he had the 7-hole, which we can forgive him for that one. But since then, second, third, and fourth in his last 3 in this class, and that's rail spot can really help this one get away well. 17 to 1 on the board right now. I'm surprised the price on Roll with the Flow. I thought he would take more support than that. Then number 2, Stonebridge Nike. This one was a $27,000 yearling purchase, and the qualifier at Mohawk Park looks okay. 59-1 last quarter, 29-2. That might be one that can get away well off the gate, sit an inside trip, and then land a piece of it in the end. Right now, 10 to 1 on the board on number 2, Stonebridge Nike, not the worst price in the world. And number 4, Doc's Philly Cheese. It's one that I thought didn't race too poorly in his lifetime debut. Only got beat just under 4 lengths to Donahue Sealster. Sat an inside trip, and might be able to get a share again tonight in this compact field from the same post position. 12 to 1 on the board. That price I think is about right. Maybe it should be a little shade higher than that. Number 7, Sugar Daddy Controls, taking a lot of action right now at 8 to 5. Second choice. Has been racing, in the grassroots at Mohawk Park last time against much tougher. Got a difficult trip at 62 to 1. Was a favorite here in this class. 2 back, made a break in stride. Outside post, it's only post 6 now with a scratch, but still the outermost post in the race. I just think that I'd have to watch this one. This time here at Grand River and see maybe for next time. 6 to 5 would be too short for me, especially against a horse like Donahue Sealster, who I think is pretty handy here at Grand River and over a half-mile track and should be blasting off the wings of the gate again tonight. So I'm sticking with that one. We got a minute to post. The horse will be on the track shortly, and we'll come back and talk about this dash a little further with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field for the third on Parade 1. Roll with the Flow. Tyler Jones for Blake McIntosh and Hunt Racing and Middlebrook Racing. Number 2 is Stonebridge Nike. Chris Matthews for Jessica Breeze Carn and Todd Williams and Jeff Bryan and Desmond Scott. Number 3, Donahue Sealster. Travis Henry for Chris Haskell and Grant Shelton and Stanley Henderson. And number 4 is Doc's Philly Cheese. Natasha Day for Brittany Kennedy and Money Clip Racing. 5 is scratch number 6, Doc's Paparazzi. Blair Burgess for Dr. Andrew Roberts. And number 7 is Sugar Daddy Controls. Anthony Hahn for Daniel Legacy and Ben Moudry. And Dan shares in ownership. Field of 6, race number 3. 2-year-old facing Colts and Rob. An interesting field, but right now, 3 Donahue Sealster off that great last one. Sat the pocket behind TJ Spitfire, who went off at about 2 to 5. And didn't just beat him up the passing lane after following from the trailing post. Exploded by him and left him in his dust. Donahue Sealster, well, you got it paid $19.30 last week. Won't be paying $19.30 this week if Donahue Sealster wins.
No, it might be more like $3.30 come post time. I thought Donahue Sealster raced fantastic last time, Gary. I really did, and I circled him for his next start, and here he comes against. I would say, at best, I'd say it's a similar field. It might even be a touch easier, to be perfectly honest. And post 3 to work from nose in the gate. He's never had his nose on the gate in a pari-mutuel race yet. Trailing posts in both those starts and raced well in each of them. And last time loved how, at the age of 2 and just a second lifetime start was able to stay glued to the horse's helmet ahead of him in the pole position off the gate. So I think he's going to be leaving out from that spot, and he'll be tough to catch. And 4 to 5 is probably the right price.
Well, in his qualifier, when he had his nose on the gate, he knew what to do with it. There's a look at number 6, Doc's Paparazzi. And I mentioned missed 24 days before that last start. Now comes back on a regular rotation. And mile of 56 and 2, tired in that final quarter of 30 and 2. Doc's Paparazzi. I have this one in the pick 5. I have the favorite and this one. Oh, I'd love to see this at 14 to 1. I might be dreaming, but Doc's Paparazzi at least could be one sitting on a better effort here.
We do see it so often when a horse has missed a bit of time and then comes, back on a regular rotation. And right now, this one does look good on the track and faces easier than what he had to face last time. And if you look at the start here at Grand River, August the 4th, even post 8, overland journey a long way, and then did get tired, but it took support down to 6 to 1. So you might be onto something here, Gary. And yeah, you're right. If you get this one down and your pick 5. Will go from, paying probably on the bit of the low side right now with some formful horses to all of a sudden being worth a pretty penny.
Well, and if I used 2 in here, I could have gone 3-1, which probably would have been more logical. One, Roll with the Flow on the inside, is certainly one that has been racing well, shows some good lines on the program.
Yeah, I think that Roll with the Flow is, a type that you have to use underneath. He's been racing well to get pieces of it, and he sits a trip. And I think he'll be a trip horse again tonight, and that's really what his big advantage is with the pole position. I just don't know if I would back him to beat Donahue Sealster off his latest, and he raced against him last time, and this one, was accelerating away from his rivals at the wire, and Roll with the Flow is going to need probably every bit of a perfect trip to have a chance against that one this evening.
Number 2 is Stonebridge and Nike. Chris Matthews, 23 to 1 on the board. Does flash a good back half in that qualifier here, August the 25th, and has had 2 qualifiers to get ready. Does Stonebridge and Nike have his Nikes on here, or do you need a start?
Might need a start, but if you do wait that start to use them anywhere, then he shows some ability tonight. You're not going to get anywhere near that 25 to 1. I just think $27,000 yearling purchase. Maybe this one can trip out and get a small piece of it, whether it be on the trifecta or superfecta. We're not going to see 25 to 1 if he goes out and makes a good showing tonight in his next start.
And number 4, Doc's Philly Cheese is the other one that's at a price on the board at 18 to 1 right now. And Doc's Philly Cheese also is one that shows finishing well in the qualifier, 29 and 1 final panel.
Yeah, I just thought, again, another one that might be able to hit the board. I thought raced reasonably well last time, August the 30th here, and what was only the first start of his career, and now the follow-up effort may even get a piece of it. 17 to 1 on the board. It's probably what the price should be, and maybe can add some value underneath.
Well, the obvious favorite in here, 3 Donahue Sealster, 3 to 5 on the board. And it's going to see if Donahue Sealster can live up to that heavy billing. Certainly looked good here in victory last time out, paying $19.30 last week. Roll with the Flow on the inside with Stonebridge and Nike in the center. Donahue Sealster. Doc's Philly Cheese to the outside. Doc's Paparazzi. Sugar Daddy Controls. Field of 6, race number 3. Here they come. And the field for race number 3 is at the start of the round. Donahue seals to roll with the flow on the inside. And then Sugar Daddy controls Stonebridge Nike, Doc's Philly Cheese as they drive it into the turn. But Donahue Sealster is able to come right out and take the lead. Roll with the flow is rolling in the pocket. Doc's Philly Cheese is racing on the outside. And Doc's Philly Cheese is racing on the outside third. And now we get over to the pylons. Then it is Stonebridge Nike. Sugar Daddy controls and Doc's Paparazzi trails the field. Donahue Sealster at 1-5 with the lead, and Roll with the Flow rolls in the pocket. 29-1 the opening panel. Doc's Philly Cheese is racing third. Then Stonebridge Nike, Sugar Daddy controls, and Doc's Paparazzi trails the field. They race off the turn of a 29-1 opening panel. Donahue Sealster, Roll with the Flow, rolls the pocket on the back of Donahue Sealster. And then making a break, Sugar Daddy controls. Doc's Philly Cheese is racing third. And Stonebridge Nike and Doc's Paparazzi. And they roll on past the half, 59-2. 30-1 second panel. And Donahue Sealster turns them to the backstretch and is now starting to widen out the lead. And leads by 3. Roll with the Flow is second. Doc's Philly Cheese is third. Stonebridge Nike fourth. And Doc's Paparazzi. They hustle on to 3/4. Donahue Sealter at 1-5 is looking like a 1-5 horse and leads it by about 5 lengths right now. Roll with the Flow, Doc's Philly Cheese and Stonebridge Nike, Doc's Paparazzi. 3/4, 127-2. 28-second third panel. And Donahue Sealster on the inside. Roll with the Flow to the outside. Doc's Philly Cheese and then Stonebridge Nike and Doc's Paparazzi. And it is Donahue Sealster looking every bit the part of a 1-5 horse and just coasting at the finish. Donahue Sealster 156-2. Roll with the Flow was a second. Then it was Doc's Philly Cheese and Stonebridge Nike 156-2. Rob, the tote board told the story, and then Donahue Sealster confirmed it.
Yeah, it's that was a trounce fest, and I mean, we saw that one coming, right? He just raced so good last time, but you look at the lines right now. Travis Henry, he's just under a tight hand drive to the wire there, and just a huge margin. I thought this field looked probably a little bit easier than what he beat last time, so you get the big price in his second career start, now in his third career start, winning 2 in a row now. He goes off at 1-5, but I think he warranted that respect. I would have said he's probably the most probable winner in the card, and he just raced really well, and one that I'm looking forward to see where he ends up next.
Yeah, and he came up back half of 57 without even breaking a sweat or even trying. But it was the 59-2 half. The race was basically over.
Yeah, it was. I mean, 59-2 to the half, it's over. But the problem is that if anyone even tries to, race him at any point, they sacrifice themselves, right? That's really what it comes down to. He's so strong in this class, returning after winning last time, that if anyone did want to challenge him, they would have probably done in their own chances. So it ends up finishing pretty formful up top. But a couple of the prices I liked underneath, Gary, landed in the third and fourth spot, just in the wrong order for myself.
Well, yeah, you had it 3-1-2-4. Don't you know how to handicap a race? It came 3-1-4-2.
Yeah, it was pretty close, but those prices should help with the value. The 7 Sugar Daddy Controls did take some support and probably is the third choice in the exotic. So maybe those two can help provide a better payout in the trifecta and superfecta wager.
3-1-4-2, the top 4 in race number 3. Coming back in front of us is number 3, Donahue Sealster, a 2-year-old shadow play brown gelding, owned by Chris Haskell and Grant Shelton and Stanley Henderson. Chris Haskell's the trainer, Travis Henry the winning driver. Second win in a third start. Donahue Sealster 156-2 for a new career mark. The third race payouts. 3 Donahue Sealster. 250, 210, 210, 1. Roll with the flow. 280, 290, 4 Doc's Philly Cheese. $3, $2 exactor, 410. The dollar try, 440. The dollar super, 1735.
All right. Well, Donahue Sealster lived up to that 1-5 hype. That's for sure. Easiest kind of winner. And Gary stays alive in his pick 5 ticket. He's got the 1, 2, and 4 moving forward. Hopefully, you're still alive as well, either in that pick 5 or the pick 4 wager that just kicked off in the previous race. We've got Philly Mares now winners of 5,000 life in race number 4. And while I decided to go to number 4, She's in Control. She's got a lot of gate speed, this one, and we haven't seen it, last time at Georgian, she left out from post 9 to get away 4th, but pretty difficult task to get away from that post at Georgian Downs, and 2 starts back there from the 6th hole, got away 2nd, and ended up finishing 2nd after a 2-hole trip to Wasaga. Picks up Ryan DeRoche tonight, and I think that She's in Control, should be moving forward off the gate, and is the type that might be able, to get the best of this group. When she's at her best, and winless in 8 so far this season, winless in 10 overall, has hit the board in a couple, but look at those posts though, 9, 6, 6, 7, 9, pretty difficult post assignments. A little bit better tonight. I'm going to go to this one on top right now at 4-1. I think that price is probably pretty decent one, a shade higher than what I was expecting. Number 1, Precious Amber, I think is one that you have to give serious consideration to. Right now, 15-1 on the board. A little bit surprised by that, because you look what she's done, so far in her career: 6 starts, 2 wins, and a 2nd. Her last 2 at Sarnia, where she missed the board, was from post 7 and from post 9. She made the lead from post 9. Will be a lot easier making the lead from the pole position here tonight, and I think we'll enjoy the company she faces, and obviously that post position. So Precious Amber should be taking more support than that. 13-1 is a little bit crazy, actually. A number 1, Precious Amber, she should be taking support, I would say, to about 3-1 or 5-2 at worst. Number 2, Up the Credit with Art. Another one that gets a favorable post tonight after some difficult posts in her last 2. 9-hole last time, so trailing post, went parked a long way, ended up finishing 3rd. I thought the effort was pretty good, and one that surprised me, to be quite honest with you, because wasn't the easiest of trips. Stayed on for 3rd. The time before that, post 8. We know how difficult that spot is here, and was 3rd from a similar post 3 starts back. So one that might be trending in the right direction for trainer Jacob Murray, and I just think from that post tonight should be a factor. Right now, 2-1 on the board, probably a bit short for myself. Number 3, Miss Motivate, 2nd lifetime start, $62,000 yearling purchase, 2-year-old, facing older horses. I don't like that about her, but I do think you have to respect, her lines, her qualifiers, and the fact that she was a pretty expensive yearling. So, for the Rick Zeron stable, Austin Soria aboard, 5-2 on the board. Was hoping for a bigger price than that, but she was one that I was using in here as a bust out in that pick 5 wager. But the Philly Mares are making their way onto the track. We'll come back and talk about it more with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field for the 4th on parade. 1, Precious Amber. Lauren House for Richard Griffiths and John Dixon. Number 2 is Up the Credit with Art. Brett Donovan, Jacob Murray, and Jim Wilson. And number 3 is Miss Motivate. Austin Sorry for Rick Zeron and James Walker and Howard Taylor and John Donato. And number 4, She's in Control. Brian DeRocher, Aaron Byron, and Warren Casely. Number 5, Scottish Cheddar, Steve Houdon for Daniel Meade. Number 6, A Speedy Play, Tom Smith for Daryl Holmes and Gerald Holmes. Number 8 is Jim Expo's Rockstar, Travis Henry for Mark Winnicott. Field of 7, race number 4. Let's get a look at this field. And Rob, number 4, She's in Control, is the first one we'll take a look at, even though Kenny and I both have gone elsewhere. She's in Control certainly looks logical in here. Windshy doesn't have one yet, but I thought the line 2 races ago was her best to start, and came home really well, 28-1. Got out well and still had enough to come home in 28-1. I thought that was a sharp effort, and that kind of effort here could put She's in Control in the winner's circle.
Yeah, I think so, and she's one that's pretty quick off the gate when, her speed is deployed. And actually, it's interesting that the June 14th line, which was a no contest, she actually blasted off the gate on that occasion, and we really haven't seen that since. And I'd like to see that this evening, and hopefully Ryan DeRoche is going to score her out here and get her all fired up so she can be ready to leave off the gate this evening. I just think that she looks like one that can get to the lead and maybe cut one out in here. And 5-2 on the board is about the right price, and one that's a serious speed threat to go coast to coast.
One of the problems, though, might be that both one Precious Amber and two Up the Credit with Art do have gate speed, and we see that inside advantage also making speed. Precious Amber certainly can get off the gate. If you're going to fire to the front from Sarnia post 9, and also we saw on the lines Dresden going back July the 25th, wire to field there. So Precious Amber on the inside. I don't think Lauren House wants to give up any position. 7-1 seems like a really nice price for one that's already got 2 wins, considering she's control is winless.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised she's not taking more support right now because the last two from outside post, I'm willing to forgive. The latest one from post 7, then went overland and two back. Finished fourth after blasting off, like you said, Gary, from the 9 hole. The other lines are all pretty solid and probably pretty comparable to the group she's facing tonight, and she gets that rail advantage. So 9-1 now. I'll just say it. I'm shocked. I thought she would be bet down to around 5-2 at worst.
Number 2 Up the Credit with Art. We saw this one with gate speed back earlier for Bill Budd back in June and early July, and does have a front end win here June the 21st. Up the Credit with Art's getting a lot of love at 2-1. Certainly inside post and gate speed much better than the last two. That last race from the trailer post, you remarked, was a pretty solid effort.
It was, and she's impressed me. She's an improving type. That's what I'd call her, an improving type. And Jacob Murray, has this one moving in the right direction because she took a lot of support 3 starts back when Rio Beach was the winner, and she didn't race that bad to finish third. And then I thought she raced okay, 2 back from the 8 hole, an impossible starting spot. And then last time I thought that was a pretty good effort. And now with post 2, you got to think this one might be inching in on another victory since being victorious here, June 21st when she was with Billy Budd. So 2-1 would be a little bit too short for me to accept. But hey, look, I think she has every chance to be victorious in here.
Number 3, Miss Motivate, is one that's had 3 qualifiers and 1 start. I might be motivated to try this one after this start, but I think I'm motivated to wait 1 start. You get 21-1 though, Austin Sori and Rick Zeron. Maybe it's worth a flyer.
Yeah, I think she might be because if you look at that race at Mohawk Park on July the 13th, Let Me Be Me, I Wish I Had a Me, Girl Scout Cookie, I could name some other ones in there. You'd be willing to bet in here. And that was a much tougher group than what she faces tonight. The qualifiers aren't bad. She's a $62,000 yearling purchase. I don't like that she's a 2-year-old racing against older horses, but I do like the price at 24-1, and I think she's one that you have to consider at least in the exotics.
And I want to get to 8 Jamaximo's Rockstar, Travis Henry for Mark Winnicott. 2 races ago at Kawartha, parked every step, raced from off the pace in 1 in 56 and 3, Rob.
Yeah, 7-1's a better price than what she was earlier. Post 8, of course, we saw some winners from that spot last Friday. I just don't know if we're going to see that again tonight, Gary. And Kawartha Downs sometimes doesn't match up the best here at Grand River. So I don't know if I like her chances, but 7-1's a better price than what she was.
It is a field of 7 for race number 4. Precious Amber, Up the Credit with Art, and Miss Motivate. She's in control. Scottish Cheddar to the outside of Speedy Play, and Jamaximo's Rockstar. Field of 7. Race number 4. They've reached the top of the stretch, and here they come. Field for the 4th race is at the start of the rough, and Up the Credit with Art's going to leave. She's in control. On the outside, Jamaximo's Rockstar to the inside. Precious Amber. Then it is Miss Motivate as the field works around the turn. Scottish Cheddar and a Speedy Play, but Up the Credit with Art has got the lead. Up the Credit with Art. She's in control, is controlling the pocket, and Jamaximo's Rockstar from an outside post got away 3rd. Precious Amber is racing 4th in front front of Miss Motivate, then Scottish Cheddar and a Speedy Play. They race their way past the opening quarter in 28-3, and up the Credit with Art has a lead of about 2.25. She's in control second. Jim Maximo's Rockstar is racing on the inside third, but now here comes Precious Amber and is on the move on the outside first over as they come off the turn. Racing fifth is Miss Motivate, and then it is back to Scottish Cheddar and a Speedy Play. Up their Credit with Art has got the lead on past the half, 28-3 opening quarter, and racing on past the half in 58-4, 30-1 second panel. Precious Amber has moved up now and is challenging first over and riding the pocket. She's in control right on the back of Up the Credit with Art. And now Jim Maxwell's Rockstar has moved out and is on the back of Precious Amber, Miss Motivate, and Scottish Cheddar. And off that 58-4 halftime, they race on to three quarters and Up the Credit with Art. And Brett McDonald is still looking rather calm in the bike and leads it by a length and three quarters. She's in control. On the inside, still Precious Amber, center of the track. Three wide, Jim Maxwell's Rockstar. Three quarters, 1:28-1. And it is Up the Credit with Art. And they're reaching for the top of the stretch. Jim Maxwell's Rockstar is getting a little closer. She's in control, and Precious Amber Up the Credit with Art as they come on down the stretch ride. Up the Credit with Art is digging. Here comes She's in control, and on the outside, Jim Maxwell's Rockstar rocks on by. She's in control. Up the Credit with Art and Scottish Cheddar. 1:59 flats. Maybe that line at Kawartha Downs, Rob, was trying to tell us something.
Yeah, sometimes, I maybe have a bias against horses coming over from Kawartha. And it's not that I don't like the circuit there. I do enjoy the racing, but sometimes I find they get overbet. And this one did get overbet early on in the betting, and then went up to 11-1. I didn't use this one anywhere. I would just say that, hey, I whiffed on this race completely, to be perfectly honest. And she got a nice steer from Travis Henry. We've seen Travis do really well getting horses spotted from that post 7 or post 8. He did it again in here, and then got second over cover. I'll be honest, I didn't really think she was going to get there though, because her cover kind of stalled in front of her. She made a nice move on the final turn there, and then gunned down the pocket sitter. She's in control at the wire at 11-1, and we got another winner from post 8, Gary.
And, actually post 7, but it's still a number 8. But look at a lot of pick 5 tickets. I think I heard a thud hitting the floor there as well in that fourth race. So we'll have a pick 5 payout of some substance. The thing also, you mentioned Travis Henry. He seems to be able to understand how much to leave and then where to get over. So still was able to get on down to the pylons in fairly good order.
Yeah, that's something that's really impressed me as of late. Yeah, you're right. Post 7, so I can't get too excited. We got another post 8 winner, but it's not easy to win from post 7 here either, folks. And Travis Henry has figured out how to get spotted from out there, and that's the key in here. I didn't think that she'd be that close, and she was kept her rivals within striking distance and did exactly that in the stretch.
Well, it is an 8-4-2-5, and at 11-1, number 8, Jim Maximo's Rockstar. Back in front of us, a 3-year-old Big Jim Bay filly, owned by Jim Maximo Racing, trained by Mark Winnicott. Travis Henry with the double on the evening, steering Jim Maximo's Rockstar home in 1:59 flat for a second win this year in lifetime. The fourth race payouts 8, Jim Maximo's Rockstar, $25.30, $9.660 for She's in Control, $310, $282 Up the Credit with Art, $340, $2 exactor, $102.60 try, $100.45, dollar superfected, $316.65.
All right, upset winner in race number 4, Jamaxipo Rockstar gets it done at 11-1. Certainly put some value in that pick 5 because they are paying very well for what came in before in the sequence. Probably put some value in that pick 4, as well. So good luck if you're still alive in the money leg here, the pick 5, or moving forward in the pick 4. And if not, well, you might as well play a pick 3, which starts right here in race number 5. We're going to the pace again. Horse and Geldings claimers $15,000. The condition for the race is non-winners of 15,000 life. And I went to number 2, Blue Monk. Right now, 4-1 on the board. I'm liking that price on this one. Was hammered down in each of his last 2 since getting claimed by Richard Moreau. And this horse is speedster, right? And we know how well speed holds up here at Grand River. 2 back, got away with the lead. Ended up coming home in 30 seconds, but did leave out in 26-3. Got picked up, was 4th beaten 3 at 50 cents to the dollar. Then last time went to the lead again. I hit the half in 56 seconds flat. Ended up, fading through to get beat 11 lengths. But maybe the shorter stretch here at Grand River, smaller surface will help this one. Plus, the condition for that race at Georgian Downs is non-winners of 25,000 life. This is non-winners of 20. Numbers of 15,000 life. So that's a big difference. And I think Blue Monk might just need that in order to be victorious. Was one that was doing pretty well this season. And I have to think that, the connections will figure this one out. 7 of 13 in the top 2 so far in 2021, 9-2 on the board. I think that's all kinds of value on number 2, Blue Monk, as my top selection. Number 3, Cutting Class is an interesting one. Was a winner, in that class over at Georgian Downs on August 29th, the same one that Blue Monk exits as well, and win a pretty good trip to do that there. Over that bigger surface, and 6-1 on the board right now on Cutting Class. I thought that, to me, the 2 that stood out in here were Blue Monk and that one, and they're holding on pretty good prices right now. And I see that other handicappers agree because Ontario Racing just has them flipped. Myself, Gary, and Ken all have them in that order, Blue Monk onto Cutting Class. So I think we all agree those are the 2 to beat in here. Then I did go to number 1, Elroy Shiner, Rail Control. One that does have early speed, has shown it in the past, and I think he'll get away well. He has missed a bit of time since being scratched due to sickness in his latest on August the 22nd, but still should be able to get a favorable trip in here. 8-5 on the board, though. That is too short for my liking on a win ticket. And then for 4th, number 7, Sights on You. This is one that, gets tagged for the first time in the condition claimer and went to the lead in each of his last 2 and non-winners of 2, straight non-winners of 2 classes. And if it wasn't for post 7, I probably would have put this horse up higher because I love when a horse enters into a condition claimer for the first time. It's much easier company, but the problem is that post 7 might be a little too much for this one to handle. So I'm sticking with number 2, Blue Monk, still 4-1 on the board. I think that's a rock solid price on this 3-year-old up the credit gelding. And I see the horse are moving out onto the track right now. We'll come back and talk about this race a little further with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field for the 5th on parade. 1 is Elroy Shiner, Austin Surrey for Todd Ratchford and Cleveland Walters. And 2 is Blue Monk, representant for Richard Morrow and Claude Girard and Gabriel Morrow. Number 3 is Cutting Class, Bruce Richardson for Jeffrey Thompson and Lori Thompson. Number 4 is Hold Thumbs, Tyler for Bobby Joe Weinhold Harris and Joe Squires. Number 5 is AJ Knight, Ryan Roche for Greg Campbell and Angelo DeLellis. 6 is Living on a Dream, Dale Spence for Katie Jean Miller and Travis Forbes. And 7, Sights on You, Jason Ryan for Terry Gillette and Dooley Boys Racing and Nickway Farms. And 8 is Tradition, Colin Kelly for Nicky Comegna and Bruno Comegna. Field of 8, race number 5, the final leg of that Big 5, and the first leg of the Big 3. Let's get a look at this field. We're going to start with number 2, Blue Monk. And, well, Rob, the three of us, Kenny, you and I, all like Blue Monk the best in here. 7 out of 13 in the top 2 on the year. Third start for Richard Morrow. I know some people will be looking at that last line and then getting scared away, but Blue Monk, I think I would look at that as a bit of a one-off, and I've seen so many good things from Blue Monk, including that front-end win at Georgian 3 races ago. Look at the gate speed, 26 and 3-2 starts ago. Blue Monk makes the front in here, I believe.
Yeah, I think so for sure. I can't imagine this one going any other trip than right to the lead, and hopefully the shorter stretch here at Grand River and just the surface as a whole will be this one's liking, because the last couple starts, just got run down, in the lane, but it looks a little more deceiving than I think it actually is. Last time getting beat 11 lengths, and the time. Before that 3 lengths, but this is an easier group to face tonight. 8-5 on the board. I was getting really excited, Gary, with the price earlier on, and now that value is certainly diminished down to 8-5. But I think he's the clear one to beat in here, and if you're gonna maybe side against him, it's gonna be the other one that was victorious in that same class at Georgian, which is number 3, Cutting Class.
Yeah, the mile of a 3 Cutting Class in 54 kind of jumps out, compares very well. And Cutting Class has enough gate speed to try to be the trip horse, although, of course, one Elroy Shiner gets that inside advantage. But Cutting Class at least should be forwardly placed, and have a look at it. With 17-1 last time out and won. You won't be getting 17-1. It's 5-2 right now.
Yeah, definitely not getting the value that he was last time, but the effort was a strong one, and first time in a condition claimer, and that usually does wonders for horses. We've got one to talk about in a few seconds here that's making that same transition this evening here at Grand River. But for me, I just think that they should both be part of the early pace scenario. I think Blue Monk will be on top. Maybe Cutting Class, maybe Elroy Shiner pushes through, but I think for Cutting Class to have a chance, he's got to blast off the wings as well.
And also the thing about Cutting Class comes back 7 days later. Blue Monk is one that raced 14 days ago. But Elroy Shiner has been out for 3 weeks now, August 14th, the last one. That could be a factor. Inside, though, at least the possibility of a trip.
Yeah, been off a little bit off of vet scratch sick, but that pole position should do wonders for this one. We saw him leave out, from that spot in Sarnia, and then got away well to Blue Monk. 2 efforts back, only got beat 3/4 of a length. So I think he's one you need to consider in here. 9-2 on the boards, probably around the right price, and you're getting that number because of the fact he hasn't raced since August the 14th.
Well, last race we didn't like post 7 on the 8 horse that won, and post 7 in this one is Sights on You. 3 wins and 13 starts. Now tailed off last time out after firing, so likely going to be trying different tactics here, because there's enough inside speed to tell Jason Ryan maybe you need a different trip plan. Sights on You. Could we have back-to-back post 7s? 10-1.
I mean, it's possible because, I love the fact this one's moving from, non-winners of 2 to that condition claimer level. So it is a massive drop in class. I can't stress that enough. When they get tagged in a condition claimer for the first time, it's an angle that works. Cutting Class did it last time at Georgian Downs and won at 17-1. You're getting 10-1 on Sights on You, 5-2 in the morning line. He's got the paper that warrants respect in here. It's just the post.
And yet who is also formful, it's just the post, is number 8 Tradition, closed here 2 races ago.
Yeah, Tradition is an interesting one. I hate the post position, but 25-1 on one that really typically races pretty well in this class. You got to use this one in your exotics in the bottom end of the try and the super, that's for sure.
Well, it is a field of 8, and right now the money is shared with Blue Monk and Cutting Class, both at 3-2. We'll see how this 5th race unfolds. It's Elroy Shiner, Blue Monk, and Cutting Class on the inside. In the center, Hold Thumbs and AJ Knight to the outside, Living on a Dream, and Sights on You, and Tradition. Field of 8. Race number 5. Field for the 5th race. is at the start of the rough, and it is Elroy Shiner. Hold thumbs, Blue Monk in cutting class, but Elroy Shiner's going to use that post one advantage and take the lead, and it is Elroy Shiner. Blue Monk is right there in the pocket. Sights on You continues to drive on the outside, and cutting class is racing on the inside fourth. Then it is back to Hold Thumbs and AJ Knight, Living on a Dream, and Tradition is trailing the field, but Elroy Shiner and Austin Sori is shining early, leads by 2. Blue Monk races the pocket, cutting class is third, and Sights on You fourth, and then it is Hold Thumbs and AJ Knight and Living on a Dream, and Tradition trails the field. 28-1 opening panel. Elroy Shiner at 5-2's got the lead, and Blue Monk is racing second. Cutting class is positioned third as they come off the turn. Now Hold Thumbs is moving on the outside first over, and Sights on You is on the inside. Then it is Living on a Dream, and back further on the outside, Tradition, and then it is back to AJ Knight. 59 seconds flat the halftime. Elroy Shiner takes them on into the backstretch. Got a 30-4 second panel breather, and they work the backstretch. Blue Monk is looking large in the pocket, and on the outside, Hold Thumbs. On down the backstretch they go. Elroy Shiner, Hold Thumbs on the outside. Blue Monk is right there in the pocket. On the back of Elroy Shiner. Elroy Shiner is getting tested now by Hold Thumbs. And then it is Blue Monk, and Living on a Dream is racing fourth, and Tradition is sent 3 wide, then Cutting Class is still on the inside. Then AJ Knight and Sights on You as they race on by 3/4, 128-3, and a slim lead on the outside by Hold Thumbs, but on the inside, Elroy Shiner is working to fend off Hold Thumbs, and Blue Monk is looking to pounce as the field turns around. Blue Monk is swung out on down the lane, and on the inside, Elroy Shiner, center of the track is Hold Thumbs, squinting up the inside. Here comes Cutting Class up the inside, and on the outside, Blue Monk. It's close between those two. Cutting Class on the inside in 158-2. Might have gotten there, but Blue Monk was on the outside to make it interesting. It was also a very interesting stretch drive, Rob. There's a lot of action in the stretch, and we're just seeing it here again. And also, you see Bruce Richardson dart down to the inside, and there's Blue Monk and Brett McDonald working on the outside, passing a Hold Thumbs. How did you see the finish?
I've learned not to call photos here, Gary. I just say too close to call now because usually I'm wrong. So I'm not going to call the photo, but it's interesting because Blue Monk was in that spot. It was sitting in that spot and then moved wide, and that's what gave Cutting Class the option to come up the inside there. So I think that Blue Monk would have been the winner easily if he stays in that spot. But I guess Brett thought the better option was to swing wide there, and that was the difference.
Well, apparently Bruce Richardson won, although look at that for close. I'm glad that you're smart enough to not call it. I did think that Bruce Richardson won, and that's what I had called, and I might have gotten away with it because it looks like it is Cutting Class and Bruce Richardson in 158-2, but that was the move going up the passing lane, and Brett McDonald going to the outside, separated by inches, and certainly overall quite an interesting dash, that fifth race.
Yeah, definitely an interesting dash because, I didn't mind Brett McDonald's strategy there with Blue Monk because he's one that has been on the lead and, hasn't really been racing his best. So he was looking for that 2-hole right away. He wasn't blasting off the gate. He was looking for one to get to the lead where he could sit behind that one. And that's what he did. And on the turn there, I was actually thinking, okay, well, he's just going to stay on the inside and then scoot up the passing lane. But I think he was worried that the leader – Elroy Shiner was getting tired, so he swung to the outside. But then that gave, the horse that, probably he had to beat, Cutting Class, the lane to come right up. If he doesn't do that, then I don't even think Cutting Class would have hit the ticket, to be perfectly honest, because he never gets a seam. So it just shows you sometimes, those snap decisions can really shape a race.
And that was actually a pretty strong effort by Hold Thumbs because he did all the work in the mile, 22-1.
Yeah, 22-1, one that I did not use in my top 4, but win a big mile. And, post 7 last time, now better post this time. Tyler Moore said, hey, I'm going to put this one into play. And that's what he did. He went first over a long way, and I thought he might forge, to the lead and try to draw clear in the stretch. But the two that we thought were the best ended up, getting past both the ones that were battling up front.
It does wind up a 3-2-4-1, and coming back in front of us is number 3 Cutting Class, a 4-year-old Mach 3 bay horse, owned by Jeffrey and Lori Thompson. Jeffrey Thompson, the trainer. Bruce Richardson, the winning driver, second win this year and a fourth win lifetime, cutting class 158 and 2. The fifth race payouts, 3 cutting class, $7.20, $3.40, and $3. 2 blue monk, $3.20, $2.50, and 4 hold thumb, $6.50. Dollar pick 5, 5 of 5, $765.20. $2 exactor, $12. Dollar try, $54.35. Super, $127.90. Fans, in this sixth race, note we have a claim entered on 1 Midnight Surf. Race 6 claim entered 1 Midnight Surf.
All right, well, cutting class in a very, very tight photo up the passing lane for Bruce Richardson. Congratulations to the connections. Moving on to race 6 now. It's the money leg of the pick 4. The favorite, no surprise, is Black Creek Rosebud, who is paying just under $20 for 20 cents in that wager. Good luck if you're still alive in that one. Also, it is time for our first Super High Five, aka, as Gary likes to call it, the Pentafecta of the night. One of my favorite wagers here at Grand River Raceway. And I went to number 2, Black Creek Rosebud. I just think I got to jump on the bandwagon. I haven't really been on it. Now I am, though. 3 in a row, 2 in this class. Post 6, 2 back, post 5 last time, and now gets to work from post 2, and I'm pretty sure all the handicappers are in agreement. Yes, we are. She's the one to beat in here, 3 to 5 on the board. Mocking Beauty is my second pick, and I think that's where she should be. Last time she was the favorite and had no answer for Black Creek Rosebud, and she had the pole position on that occasion, so wasn't able to hold Black Creek Rosebud out and was never able to get near her. So I think now even a bigger advantage to Black Creek Rosebud with the better post, and I just think she should go to the front in here and be able to find the winner's circle once again for 4 in a row for a partner that's already got a win tonight with Donahue Sealster earlier. So Black Creek Rosebud, my top pick, with the bullet. And then number 4, Mocking Beauty, I think the clear-cut second choice and should be the one that's able to sit a trip. So that one, should be blasting off the wings as well. Number 1, Midnight Surf, though, is the claimed horse in the race, and I think when you have to consider winning last time, in the not the winner's over condition, but the other $7,000 claiming condition race, and one from well off the pace from post 6, now gets post 1. Not sure if this one really has any gate speed, though, but you have to think she's going to try to get away, as close as she can tonight. 11 to 1 on the board, good price on this one, and I see that we're all pretty much in agreement on her being one that should land in the top 3. And then, number 8, Shake It If You Got It. One that, last time racing here at Grand River was racing in the open $8,500 claimer. 3 efforts there, not bad ones either. Does have to work from post 8 tonight, 23 to 1. The one I think you have to put in your Super High 5 tickets. And number 3, Rhythm Sealster. This is the one that I really think, from an inside post, might be able to just sit that favorable trip and do enough to hit the board late, 24 to 1. She'll be on my high 5 tickets for sure. But they're already making their way on the track. We'll come back and talk about this Super High 5 contest with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field 4, race number 6 on parade. 1, Midnight Surf, claim entered. Austin Sorry for Todd Ratchford. And ECS Racing. A correction.
I don't know if there's a driver change or not.
1 is Anthony Hahn. Fans note that Austin Sorry will be driving. Austin is not available for the post parade, but will be driving. Number 2 is Black Creek Rosebud. Colin Kelly for Chris Haskell and Ken Calhoun and Ben Rathwell. And number 3, Rhythm Sealster, Jason Ryan for Graham Burgess. 5, Northern Prima, Tom Smith for Darrell Holmes and Gerald Holmes. Number 6 is Moramapo, Dale Spence for John Kennedy and Ralph and Sandra Pitt. And 7 is Mob Rebel. Travis Henry drives for Terry Gallant. 8 is Shake It If You Got It, Ryan DeRoche for Dolores Basilone and Brittany Dillon. And number 4 is Mocking Beauty, Brent McDonald for Ron McDonald and Carlo Micucci.
That was fantastic, wasn't it?
It's a field of 8 for race number 6, the Pentafecta, the Super High 5, and Rob, Black Creek Rosebud, you're on the bandwagon now. And as you mentioned, Black Creek Rosebud went to the front from post 5, so now is post position 2. I don't see how anyone stops this mare from going to the lead because she really bolted off the wings last time out.
Yeah, she did, and you think about it, she was 5-2 in that start, and Mocking Beauty, was 3-5, and she blew that one off the track and had the worst post. Now she's got the better post of the two, 1-9 on the board. I mean, it's tough to ever accept 1-9 on a horse. I would never bet a horse to win at that number ever. But she's going to be difficult to beat in here, and she'll be the one that I'm singling on top of the super high five.
That start 2 races back also, we saw her blast really hard from post position 6 to get a pocket trip and then got the job done as well. And that one was also at a price, but it's not going to be getting a price on Black Creek Rosebud in here at all, 1-9. Some ones to use on the ticket. For Mocking Beauty obviously was good last time out, just second best to a Bearcat and might be second best again.
I think so. I mean, she looks like she's second best in here, doesn't she? She had a lot of lines, here at Grand River, further down the page that were pretty solid. She won here on July the 14th, for Gary Bishop when Austin Sawyer was aboard, and she's, last time raced really well, just ran into a monster in Black Creek Rosebud. So I still think they're probably the two that are the fastest off the gate, and it should line up in some combination of them. And Black Creek Rosebud should, emerge victorious come the wire.
Number 1, Midnight Surf. We often see ones that don't make sense at all landing onto the Pentafecta. Now we get one that's pretty logical, and yet 25-1. I think Midnight Surf belongs somewhere on the ticket. Maybe is the third best one in here, and the claim is in as well.
Yeah, Midnight Surf is interesting. My big concern, with her is even with that pole position, doesn't show a lot of speed, even from the inside posts. And I think this is going to be one where it's going to be difficult to close into them, especially if they line up with Black Creek Rosebud and Mocking Beauty as the top two off the gate. So 23-1, the price is simply inflated because number 2, Black Creek Rosebud, is 1-9. I think Midnight Surf is probably going to take the majority of the support as the third horse in the trifectas and the super high fives, and should have every right to get there if she gets a favorable trip.
Number 8, Shake It If You Got It, is 30-1. Raced really well last race before tiring late. Might be signs of better to come, but we'll need different tactics from post 8.
Yeah, I think that, you look at those lines here at open $8,500 claimers. It matches up pretty well against this group. Last time in a 7,000 claimer, went to the front and didn't really, finish her mile. But I think she'll be coming from the back tonight. She's raced well like that before here at Grand River, and I think she can get a piece of it. And the price of 30-1 isn't a bad one.
And I really want to throw in, I think we're sleeping on 6, Moramapo, who's 25-1. John Kennedy's Barn is often good. This one's a very consistent 12 out of 19 in the top 3 on the year, and does show winning from off the pace at Hanover only 2 races ago. There's some nice value on Moramapo at 25-1. Field for the 6th taking up position. Midnight Surf, Black Creek Rosebud, Rhythm Sealster. In the center, Mocking Beauty, Northern Prima. To the outside, Moramapo, Mob Rebel, and Shake It If You Got It. It's a field of 8 for the 6th race. They're at the start of the round. Black Creek Rosebud, Rhythm Sealster, Mocking Beauty. Ma Rebel from the outside. Midnight Surf on the inside is away, racing into the front trio. And then it is Ma Rebel and Mocking Beauty. Northern Prima, then Moramapo, and back to Shake It If You Got It. They race on down the backstretch. Black Creek Rosebud, as expected, is on the lead and is in front by 2 1/4. Rhythm Sealster is second. Ma Rebel is positioned third. Midnight Surf is surfing along in fourth in front of Mocking Beauty fair. And then it is back to Northern Prima as the field works on around the turn. Then further back is Moramapo. And then it is Shake It If You Got It as the field works their way on around the turn. 28 seconds the opening quarter. Black Creek Rosebud's got the lead. Rhythm Sealster at 45-1 is sitting second. And Ma Rebel at 50-1 is racing third. Midnight Surf is fourth. And then racing fifth. Here comes Mocking Beauty moving, and will have cover. Midnight Surf took out from fourth. Then, as part of the outer flow, is Moramapo on the inside, Northern Prima. And then it is Shake It If You Got It, 57-3 the halftime. Into the backstretch, Black Creek Rosebud bleeds at a length and 3/4. Rhythm Sealster, Midnight Surf on the outside, has come on now and is about 3 lengths off the lead. Ma Rebelle is fourth on the inside. Mocking Beauty is racing fifth. Northern Prima up the inside. Then Moramapo and Shake It If You Got It. Now 3 wide from the backfield goes Moramapo, but also popping out at 3 wide Mocking Beauty as Moramapo follows Mocking Beauty. 3/4, 126-4. Black Creek Rosebud. Mocking Beauty is making up a lot of ground. Rhythm Sealster is now popped out. It is Black Creek Rosebud. Rhythm Sealster is coming quickly. Rhythm Sealster, Black Creek Rosebud on the inside. Black Creek Rosebud, Rhythm Sealster. Rhythm Sealster up the inside is Mob Rebelle. Rhythm Sealster is going to score. Mob Rebelle was second. Black Creek Rosebud third. And then it was Mocking Beauty and Northern Prima, 157-1. Rhythm Sealster had a very nice rhythm in the stretch drive. Well, one that you threw on the bottom of your high five, but you just needed to turn the high five upside down with Rhythm Sealster on top of it, Rob.
Yeah, this horse is a monstrous price. Again, Black Creek Rosebud took all the support. I'm surprised she can't close this one out. I thought she'd be home and cool the way the race kind of panned out. Mocking Beauty, raced from off the pace, which would only further help Black Creek Rosebud's chances. But she just didn't have it in the stretch tonight and ended up, finishing third and getting beat both on her outside and inside. And Rhythm Sealster was one I really liked as a potential price play to hit the ticket. Never dreamt that she'd actually get the job done at 45-1. And this will be very interesting to see if this high five ends up paying, because I'm pretty sure the majority of the tickets would have had Black Creek Rosebud on top.
Well, I remember at the beginning you said it looks like a very formful night, and it has been for the most part. We did have one a little bit of an upset earlier with an outside post, but this is not what you'd really call formful. So we get a 45-1 on top, and then the 7 horse, is only 50-1. Then we get the illogical ones, the 2 and 4, the ones that we thought were the first and second, and Northern Prima at 60-1 also gets onto the ticket, Rob.
Yeah, it's a couple of favorites sandwiched by some long bombs, and they're not high up the rankings there, the third and fourth. So, like I said, it'll be interesting to see if this high five was to go here. I mean, we've seen some go like this before, but it'd be nice to maybe have a carryover into the finale tonight, Gary.
I think that would be fun. If somebody has this one, I want to check out their license plate number just out of curiosity. 37245 is the winner of race number 6, top 5, and back in front of us is number 3, Rhythm Sealster, a 5-year-old Sunshine Beach Bay mare, owned and trained by Graham Burgess, Jason Ryan, a.k.a. Ricky Bobby, on Rhythm Sealster. And race number 6, it's the second win this year, 7th lifetime, mile of 157-1. Ricky Bobby. The 6th race payouts. Number 3, Rhythm Sealster, $93.60, $33 and $4.90. 7, Mob Rebelle, $57.80 and $9.80. 2, Black Creek Rosebud, $2.10. $2 exactor, $925.20. The dollar try pays $2,584.20. We had a 20-cent pick four, paying $1,558.79, and a 20-cent high five, a pentafecta. All together now, we'll give you the price first, $4,249.73, and ka-ching. the sixth race claim. One Midnight Surf, the new owner Keith Castle, the new trainer Mary Castle. Field for the seventh on parade one, Tierra Dancer Natasha Day for Les Posen. Number 2 is Ardine Gracie Tom Smith for Daryl Holmes and Gerald Holmes. 3 is Winsun Gaga, Brett Madonna for Richard Marlin, Tess Waxman and Christine Marion and Jordan Miller. And 4 is Black Betty, Steve Houdon for Daniel Meade. 5 is Let's Roar, Anthony Hunt from Egg Crone and Hunt Racing. And 6, Brio Beach, Dale Spence for Ben Hollingsworth and Kathleen and Clifford Coonfer. Number 7, Be Vanished, Travis Henry for Jared Bako and Dale Kerr. And the braid is Divine Deo, Austin Sorry for Marcel Barrio and Joe Wilkie and Wayne McRae. And 9 is a Black Diamond, Colin Kelly for Kyle Bossens and Brad Gray. Field of 9, race number 7. We'll take a look at Rob's first one, number 7, Be Vanish. And you're on an outside post position, but Rob, again, we've mentioned Travis Henry getting horses off the gate and getting over the pylons. And before that last race, we were talking about it. In that last race, he had post position 7 and was able to get away third over the pylons with Ma Rebelle.
Yeah, that's kind of giving me more confidence with this horse, Gary, after seeing what Travis was doing from those outside posts. And the thing about Be Vanish is if you go back 3 starts back, July 26th, it was a nice winner here in non-winners of 1 or 5,000 life. Now, this is a step up, but a couple of nice efforts in between, including a second to Miami Sealster last time at Georgian Downs August 7th. Now, they're going to say, well, there's some time off there. Robert, you don't usually get on horses like that. Well, I do like that when it's now with a new barn for Jared Bako. So I don't mind a break in the schedule when it has, changed hands and gone to a different trainer, because now that trainer's had more time to work with this horse. And I just think that Be Vanish, we might see Even if just maintains what he's been doing, he should be competitive in here. And look at the numbers that Jared Baco's been producing. I think this horse might take a step forward tonight and be difficult to beat.
Well, the win column is almost 25% in the win column. Number 2, Ardine Gracie gets a much better post position than 7B Vanish, and also knew what to do with post 1 last race at Georgian Downs, and we might be looking at a possible repeat. That's the only win you see on the year, but Ardine Gracie looking to make it 2 in a row.
Yeah, and this is a comparable class, right? Not only was it 2 at Georgian Downs, matches up pretty well against this one and went to the lead, and definitely got things her own way on the front end. But now you got post 2 here at Grand River, and with that gate speed, should be able to get off the gates well again tonight. 14-1's an overlay on this gray filly.
I thought number 3, Winsun Gaga, would take a little more money than she has so far. 7-1 on the board, simply because Brett McDonald, Richard Morrow, and also gets a better post position and was able to finish 4th from post 7 last race and has 4 wins on the year. Winsun Gaga set up a Richard Morrow, sitting at 6-1.
A little bit surprised there's not more support going in this direction. I pegged Winston Gaga on 3rd, thinking she'd actually probably take the bulk of the support here. That was a good effort last time. Got away 7th off the gate and really had no chance from back there in a race that was won by Divine Deo, who now gets handicapped with post 8. So I think Winston Gaga has a big chance in here. 6-1's a good price. And
I would say the effort to start before it was a fairly good effort as well. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, 14 lengths and 54-1, and that was just the second start for Richard Moreau. So, again, I think right now this one's slipping through the cracks at the price of 6-1.
Number 9, a Black Diamond, Colin Kelly and Kyle Boston, strong connections, and a mile of 53-4 last time out. That's a strong mile, and certainly parked early and still had some gas in the tank to be able to hold position in the stretch. A Black Diamond trailer post, but you get 9-1 on Colin Kelly and Kyle Boston's.
Yeah, the great connections and the price is right, that's for sure. Biggest concern for me is just with that trailer post, where does she get away and who is she going to follow out? There is some speed on the inside, but even still, if horses crash down from the outside to get to that lead, then where does a Black Diamond end up? And I just don't know if the trip's going to be favorable, but 9-1 the price is.
And number 4, Black Betty, was 12-1 last time out. Came first up and finished second. A good mile, but now is 6-5, Rob.
Yeah, the price is just way too short for me. I thought the effort last time was a real good one first over, but I do think there was some other horses that got some unfavorable trips in there, and 7-5 is just much too short for me.
Well, it is a field of 9 taking up positions, and you know what those lights mean, Rob? But usually when you see those lights, what do you think that is telling you?
I don't know. Is there a sale going on, or is it a recall?
Well, it's certainly not a sale on 4 Black Betty at 6-5 on the board, but we still have a bit of a sale on 3 Winsun Gaga at 5-1 on the board. 7B Vanish, you're sitting at 9-2. Where did you think you'd see the price on 7B Vanish? I thought it might be a little higher than that. Did you?
No, I thought around 9-2 or 5 or 6-1. I just figured that you need to respect the connections, and Jared Baco first time has been something that has worked many times in the past. And you look at B Vanish's record, even 6 of 8 in the money, only 1 victory so far. But a lot of the horses in this race haven't really piled up the wins. That's why they're still known as a 15,000 life. So I think 9-2 is about the right price, and it's all going to come down to what kind of trip B Vanish gets. I'm just hoping that Travis can get away somewhere close enough off the gate that they'll be in striking range when it's time to go.
And with this being the start of the win for, if you want to very quickly turn the page, how would you stack up your pick 4 ticket? Is there any one in the next 3 legs that you see as a key, or how are you playing onto B Vanish?
I actually might key B Vanish, because you're going to gain a lot of expected value off that one, because now you're keying one that's going to be a knockout, and then maybe spread out after that. And in race 8, my top selection is Kev Marvelous. I know that's a horse that you're fond of too, Gary. I'm not sure if you picked him tonight, but I think he's got a big chance. And Lobel Bruiser is one I'm looking at as well. I think Bit of Luck in race 9 with the rail is going to be much tougher, because last time he had that pole position, he was an easy winner in that class. So I'm very curious to see how he performs tonight. But St. Lad's Thriller's a tough beaten there as well. And then in the last leg, I'm partial to Outlaw Grabbing Gears. I think that it's a good favorable spot for him from the pole position. But I also don't think it's a race that you'd be wrong if you really spread out in, because the preferred three is one that's produced some prices this season at Grand River, and there's a few in there that might have a sneaky chance, including another one you're fond of, Freddie Bear.
Freddie Bear loves to outrace his odds, and last time his odds were 65 to 1. He didn't outrace him there and finished last, but certainly you see a lot of ones on the page. In fact, 39 to 1, second beaten ahead, 45 to 1, finished third. Freddie Bear is definitely one you can at least take a flyer on in there. Pretty balanced bunch, but you're kind of thinking B Vanish might be a key. I was kind of thinking in the eighth race that 3 Rock and Twist, Brett McDonald for Richard Morrow, might be a little bit better. Was really showing some excellent form. That last race didn't leave well, and then came a decent back half. But I expect more from Rock and Twist in the eighth race than we saw in that last race at Georgian Downs.
Yeah, you know what? And I left that one off my selections, and I was looking at that horse actually just a few moments ago. And you look at the latest effort, August 14th, Yara Sealster. Well, Yara Sealster's gone on to do pretty big things at Mohawk Park. So I certainly don't fault you for liking Rocket Twist, that's for sure.
Well, in the seventh race, we don't see flashing lights right now, so we'd better set up the field in behind the gate. It's Tierra Dancer, Our Dying Gracie, and Winsun Gaga on the inside. In the center, Black Betty and Let's Roar. To the outside, Brio Beach, Be Vanish and Divine Dale. In the second tier, a Black Diamond. Field of 9, race number 7. It is a field of 9 for race number 7. They're at the top of the stretch, and here they come. Field for the 7th race. He is at the start of the rough, and Winsun Gaga will leave, and Let's Roar to the outside. Tierra Dancer, Be Vanish is moving on the outside, and a Black Diamond gets out well from the trailer post, but it is Winsun Gaga who's got the lead as they work their way into the backstretch. Let's Roar is still roaring on the outside, wants to come on and clear to the lead. Let's Roar and Anthony Hahn's going to take the front now. Winsun Gaga second, Tierra Dancer third, and then it is a Black Diamond and Our Dying Gracie as the field races their way on past the opening quarter. Then is back to a Black Betty and Be Vanish and Brio Beach. And then it was Divine Dale. Winsun Gaga's back on the lead now. Winsun Gaga, Let's Roar at 16 to 1 is filling the pocket on the back of Winsun Gaga. Tierra Dancer is third, and then a Black Diamond moves to the outside as they race off the turn, giving cover to Our Dying Gracie, and then it is Black Betty, and then Divine Dale on the inside. Be Vanish is racing 7th now as Divine Dale is on the outside 8th, and then it is Brio Beach. 57-3 is the halftime, and they work their way on into the backstretch. Winsun Gaga is on the lead still, but now on the outside, moving up and getting closer is a Black Diamond. Inside third, Let's Roar. Our Dying Gracie is spotted second over fourth. Hand is advancing. Tierra Dancer also moving as Black Betty, and then Divine Dale. Be Vanish is racing 8th, and Brio Beach is trailing the field. 57-3 is the halftime, and it is Winsun Gaga who's got the lead as they race to the top of the stretch. Racing second is a closer Black Diamond, and on the inside, Let's Roar is looking for the passing lane, and Our Dying Gracie and Black Betty, they turn on down the stretch by Winsun Gaga as they come on down the stretch. Winsun Gaga, Let's Roar up the inside. Winsun Gaga, Let's Roar. Winsun Gaga wins it. Let's Roar was second. Then it was a Black Diamond and Our Dying Gracie. Mile of 156 flat. Winsun Gaga did hold it 3 to 1 and ended up being some pretty nice value, Robert.
Yeah, definitely. The price ended up being pretty solid on Winsun Gaga. I thought this one would take more action, and I'm not saying I wouldn't have gone against her anyways. I like Be Vanish. Listen, it just wasn't that horse's night, and I'll have to tab her for next time. She's been off a little bit of time. I thought maybe the new connections, I wasn't too concerned about that time off, but I saw the plugs got kicked pretty early on Be Vanish, and also tried to blast out and couldn't do so. So we'll take the L on that one, Gary, but I'll watch her for next time. But hey, Winsun Gaga was rock solid in victory. And Let's Roar, nice effort from this one. And I was jumping on one that was, joining a new barn for the first time. Well, I guess I kind of overlooked Meg Crone taking over Let's Roar, and she does pretty well first time as well.
Yeah, it was still had something left in the tank too at the finish up the inside, and 16-1 can help a ticket of 3-1 on top. So we should have a pretty solid exactor in this seventh race.
Yeah, it should definitely pay well because Let's Roar, got overlooked by me and the betting public as a whole at 16-1. So should be a nice exacta, and really the exotic should be good throughout because Black Betty, one that we thought took too much support at 8-5, ends up missing the ticket, and some other logical ones as well. B Vanish and Divine Deo miss, as well. Black Diamond gets on there, and I thought the two, Ardine Gracie, had a big chance of hitting the ticket. Didn't get on the try, but did manage to get on the super.
Well, the 2, 3, and 9 were the ones that you used underneath 7B Vanish. So although B Vanish was not really flush with pace, you did get the next three onto the ticket. Winsun Gaga at 3-1, victorious in race number 7. It is Winsun Gaga, a 3-year-old. He's watching Bay Filly, owned by Tess Waxman and Christine Marion and Jordan Miller. Richard Moreau, the trainer. Brad McDonald, the winning driver. Fifth win in 10 starts this year for Winsun Gaga, 156 flat. The seventh race payouts: 3 Winsun Gaga, 810, 580, and 365. Let's Roar, 1520 and 670, and 9 a Black Diamond, 360. $2 exactor, 116.20. Dollar try, 423.10. The dollar super, 1400, 1970. On parade for the 8th race, 1 is Custom Cut, Talmore for Gary McDonald, Christina Soundy. Number 2, Lobel Bruiser, Colin Kelly for Vern Cochran and Leonard Van Veen. 3 is Rock and Twist, Brian McDonald for Richard Moreau and Michelle Variel and Frederick Barriel and Gabriel Moreau. 4 is Tahuya Baru, Eddie Hensley for Ashley Hensley. 5 is Adrenaline Rush, Travis Henry for Jason McGinnis and the Stable. And number 6, Kev Marvelous. Bruce Richardson is the driver and trainer and owner. Field of 6. We're going to stay right there on the screen with number 6, Kev Marvelous. And, one that I did score a win here back at the end of June going against you. But this time we're kind of flipping the script. You're on Kev Marvelous, and I've gone elsewhere. Kev Marvelous, Rob.
Yeah, a little bit of time off, which, again, off a month. I did that in the last race. It didn't work out so well, but that last effort was against the condition claimers at Mohawk Park. Ended up, going overland and got beat by a wide margin. But before that, the efforts are all pretty solid. And if you go back in this class on June the 28th, was an easy winner at a nice price. So I just don't want to side against this one, and I thought the price might be right. I thought we'd get a better number than the morning line of 5-2, 5-1 on the board right now. I'm okay with that on number 6, Kev Marvelous.
Yeah, and Kev Marvelous, at least in a smaller field coming back, so a field of 6. I think it's a fairly balanced bunch. Adrenaline Rush took a bunch of early money, but number 2, Lobel Bruiser, is one that certainly requires a serious look because 2 wins and then a pretty competitive mile last time out. Yeah, 4th, but beaten half a length. They were all there at the finish.
Yeah, Lobel Bruiser isn't one that usually roughs it out and gets the job done, and he tried to do it on that occasion. Only got beat half a length in the end. The 2 wins before that, he was, hemmed on the pylons and came, bursting late with pace. So I think if he gets a favorable trip like that again, he's going to be difficult to hold off in here. And it just comes down to trip scenario for Lobel Bruiser. And I put him in the 2nd spot. He's one I do, typically give a lot of respect to. And, that start 2 back at Georgian Downs was one to behold because he had no real chance at the head of the stretch or even halfway down the stretch and then lunged forward. Granted, he came home in 30 seconds flat, but it was still impressive. And the last effort, wasn't that bad either. So Lobel Bruiser has a big chance in here, but 6-5, you'd have a hard time convincing me to bet him to win at that number.
And Colin Kelly drove him to victory at Georgian Downs 2 races ago. Got a pocket trip in that one. From post 2, Lobel Bruiser could be sitting on a possible pocket trip. Some others, number 4, Tahuya Brew. This is the one that I took on top last time out. And maybe needed to roll off cover just a tad earlier, but Eddie Hensley, I love his driving. Ashley Hensley's barn is solid, and Tahuya Brew, just beaten half a length, was closing in the lane last time out. As I mentioned, they were all there at the finish. Tahuya Brew, right back off that last one, could be one to play in here, and you get 12-1. That was a good mile last race.
Yeah, the price is really strange, I think I'm going to say on this one at 12-1. I thought Tahuya Brew raced well last time, only got beat half a length, and it was a nice way to get acclimated to this class over this surface here. So I think this one's got a big chance in here. I pegged him in the 3rd spot. I think 16-1's a big time overlay.
And I want to talk next about number 3, Rock and Twist. Just squeeze this in before we get to the gate. Look, it is one with 13 of 17 in the top 3. I took Rock and Twist on top. Brett McDonald, Richard Moreau. I know the last race, 5th beaten 4.5. But Rock and Twist, you see so many really good miles before that. Has been off since the 14th of August, but still overall, Rock and Twist has done a lot of things right, and I think compares really well with this group. Has some gate speed. It'll be interesting to see what Brett's plan is with Rock and Twist, with Custom Cut and Lobel Bruiser in beside him.
Yeah, I think I overlooked this one, Gary. I said that, before the last race, and I've got someone on Twitter too. I like interacting on Twitter. At Robert Reed Jr. is my handle, and Chuck Cogburn at College Hoops for You actually messaged me to say that he loves Rock and Twist in here as well, and he's on board with you with this one, and thinks that we're going to see a much better effort from Rock and Twist here at Grand River tonight. So, yeah, 5-1, nice value. And I'll be honest, the more I look at this horse, the more I'm a little bit worried for my late pick 4 wagers.
It's a field of 6 for race number 8. But I am cheering for you with Kev Marvelous because, well, Bruce Gilkinson's a friend of mine. So you got to cheer for friends and be a team player, Rob. A field of 6 in the 8th race. Custom Cut and Lobel Bruiser on the inside. Rock and Twist to Who You Brew in the center. On the outside, Adrenaline Rush and Kev Marvelous. It's a field of 6 for race number 8. There at the start of the round. Rock and Twist is going to rock it out. Lobel Bruiser, Adrenaline Rush, and Custom Cut is on the inside as they work their way out into the backstretch. Then to Who You Brew, and Kev Marvelous is trailing the field, but Lobel Bruiser's got the lead. Rock and Twist is rocking a pocket position, but Adrenaline Rush is still rushing on the outside and is trying to challenge Lobel Bruiser, but on the inside, Rock and Twist is filling that spot on the inside and is racing third. Then a gap of a couple, and it's Custom Cut to Who Ya Brew, and Kev Marvelous is trailing. 27 seconds, the opening quarter. Lobel Bruiser, Adrenaline Rush on the outside is parked, and then it is Rock and Twist and Custom Cut. Kev Marvelous has gained 1 spot, and then it is back on the inside to Who Ya Brew. Lobel Bruiser, as they come up to the half with a parked Adrenaline Rush, and Rock and Twist is right there sitting in the pocket. 27 opening quarter. Half was 55-1, a 28-1 second panel, and it is Lobel Bruiser as they work their way on into the backstretch, and Rock and Twist is in the pocket. On the outside, Adrenaline Rush. Custom Cut is racing fourth. Kev Marvelous is in the 2-wide path, and on the inside is to Who Ya Brew. They race on down the backstretch, and it is Lobel Bruiser trying to get away in Rock and Twist. Backing away Adrenaline Rush. Rock and Twist is getting a little closer from second now. And then it is Custom Cut and to Who Ya Brew. And then Kev Marvelous and Adrenaline Rush, but it is Lobel Bruiser and Rock and Twist, and then Custom Cut and to Who Ya Brew is kicking in late. 3/4, 124-4, and it is Lobel Bruiser as they turn on down the stretch drive. Lobel Bruiser on the inside, Rock and Twist to the outside. To Who Ya Brew is flying in the lake going. Lobel Bruiser to Who Ya Brew was second. Then finishing third was Rock and Twist, and fourth was Custom Cut. 155-1. Lobel Bruiser was on fire early and was able to keep the flame going to the finish, Rob.
Yeah, the best way to not get parked, Gary, is to do what? Go to the lead, and that's what he did from post 2. Last time had post 6 and ended up going an overland journey. This time, Colin Kelly sent him right to the lead. Definitely got leg weary late, but he had enough of a margin, blasting through those fractions, 27, 55, 124-4, that he just bottomed out the field, and the only one that really had any pace in the stretch was to Who Ya Brew, and just was too far out of it. So I thought the runner-up raced pretty well, but could not get there in time. That was the one that we were eyeing up the price on, to Who Ya Brew, but Lobel Bruiser gets it done to the favorite player's delight.
Yeah, to Who Ya Brew at least, did make up a ton of ground and had a lot of pace in the stretch drive. Of course, also, the pace is kind of coming back to him, so it might be a little bit deceiving on to Who Ya Brew. It's still a pretty solid second.
Yeah, I think this is one that's going to race well at this level. That's for sure. Third, beaten half like last time. This time, really closing the margin late to finish second at 6-1. So I think Tahuya Brew is going to be knocking at the door for a victory, and has been his last 2 now. Still winless in 14 this season, but maybe he'll break through in the coming weeks.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with the Rock and Twist effort at 9-2 on the board. It was a solid effort.
Yeah, forwardly placed, and sat a trip behind Lobel Bruiser, but I just think this one, we noted last time his last 2 wins before that one were really impressive. Went overland, like I said, in his latest, and this time didn't give anyone a chance to do that to him. And I think that was kind of the key with Lobel Bruiser. He's one that's really sharp right now, and he's won 3 of his last 4.
It's a 2-4-3-1, and it's number 2, Lobel Bruiser. Lobel Bruiser, a 4-year-old Believe-in Bruiser Bay gelding, owned by Leonard Van Veen and Vern Cochran. Vern's the trainer. Colin Kelly, the winning driver. Fifth win this year, sixth lifetime, Lobel Bruiser, 155-1. The eighth race payouts, number 2, Lobel Bruiser, $360, $290, $270. 4, Tahuya Brew, $393, 3 Rock and Twist, $220. $2 exactor, $13.40. Dollar try, $25.60. Dollar super, $74.65.
All right. Well, time flies when we're having fun, folks. Already race 9, which means it's your last chance for a multi-leg wager with our late double. Make sure you get those in now. And in race 9, well, we're on the pace, and it's non-winners of 4,000 last 3, one of our top condition classes here at Grand River. And the last race makes sense. It's going to be the preferred 3. So we get to see some of our better pacers here at the river going postward in each of the last 2 races. Nice way to end off the card. And, well, I went to number 1, Bit of Luck in here. 22-1 on the board right now. That price is a little bit wild, and I'd certainly like to lock that in right now. I doubt we'll see it come post time, but Bit of Luck is one that, last time got away 5th, didn't really have much of a chance from there. And I don't think Bit of Luck really races his best when he's not forwardly placed, and well, he's got the pole position tonight. So if he's ever going to be forwardly placed again, it's going to be this evening. Last time in this class, when he had this post, he went coast to coast and absolutely crushed his rivals by 3.5 lengths. That was back on July the 5th, and has had it a couple times since then. Didn't really, fire out, but it was against tougher, and, one came at Mohawk Park. So I like Bit of Luck in here, and 14-1 even. I mean, I'll say 5-1 would be something I'd be like excited to get, which I don't know if we'll get that. I see other handicappers are kind of placing him all over the place. Gary puts him second, but Bit of Luck is one that I do like here in race number 9 as my top selection. Number 2, St. Lad's Thriller, one you have to use. Raced non-winners of 5,000 last 5, and his latest at Mohawk Park. Didn't really do too much in there, but finished second from the 7-hole in this class 2 back, and raced well to do so. Came home in 27 seconds flat, and has the 2-hole tonight. Is one that has shown speed when he needs to off the gate. 6-5 on the board is just a little bit too short for me, especially look at that win column, folks. Got the goose egg, 0 for 10. Hit the board 4 times this year, but no wins yet, and one that kind of, when he has the lead, he gets picked up, and when he doesn't, he just doesn't get there. So for me, tough to go to St. Lad's Thriller on a win ticket, but I do respect his chances to be close in this race. Number 9. Number 4, Jack of Clubs, horse that I'm fond of. Last time, post 8, was way out of it, made a move around the final turn to get into the race, but still got beat 3.5 lengths. But the post is just, it's such a difficult spot to get into the race from here, post 8, and I think that this looks like a much better spot for Jack of Clubs. 11-1 on the board. I like that price, and not sure if he's a win candidate. He's also over the season, but he's at the board 8-14. Might add some value to the exotics. And then number 6, Crosscut, taking a lot of support right now at 8-5. I understand why, making the move from Mohawk Park over here to Grand River, and it was a winner in the preferred 2 and 3 handicap earlier in the summer. Should get every chance in here. We'll have to do it from off the pace. It just depends what kind of fractions get set up front. I'm hoping that Bit of Luck can push out to the lead, or at least sit a favorable trip in the 2-hole. And if the fractions aren't there, then Crosscut might have a tough time getting into it. But he's one that's won from the first over spot before, so he can rough it. He might do that tonight. Ken Middleton put Crosscut on top, and I see me and Gary like him for a smaller share, but one that you have to consider in here. But I'm going to stick with number 1, Bit of Luck, especially at 7-1. I doubt we'll get that price come post time, but I'll hope for it, because I think 7-1 is some value on number 1, Bit of Luck. Well, we'll come back and talk about this race 9 a little bit further with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field for the ninth on parade. One bit of luck, Brevin Oliver, Tisha Symes, and Michael Goldberg. Number 2 is St. Lad's Thriller. Travis Cullen for Jody Cullen and Rebecca Williamson. Number 3 is Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. Travis Henry for Harry Polton and the Stable. And number 4, Jack of Clubs Tyler for Gary McDonald. 5 is Artistic Pick, Colin Kelly for Kyle Bossens and Brandon Bossens. And number 6, Crosscut, J.R. Platt for Anthony Beaton and SSG Stables. Field of 6, race number 9. This is an interesting race to handicap, Rob. The money right now is on 2 St. Lad's Thriller, and it's too low, but you get a nice price of 7-1 on Bit of Luck right now. It'll be interesting to see if Bit of Luck does fire from the inside. That mile here, July the 5th, they're going to the front and romping here in 53-2 and just striding away from them. That would really be a handful for this bunch. Bit of Luck at 6-1.
Yeah, 6-1 is to me a giant-sized price on Bit of Luck. That is for sure, and I'm hoping that it stays there, because I just think pole position is what this one needs. I really believe that, and I know we've seen it a couple times since then, but that was in tougher spots, and I think he's going to blast out of there and at worst end up in the 2-hole, and we'll see what Bit of Luck's made of tonight. Last time he did this, he was an easy winner, and I'm hoping for something similar this time around.
The price might hold because he hasn't won since July the 5th, and even some of the lines are maybe they don't look as good on paper. That 1-2 races ago was a solid second. Number 2, St. Lad's Thriller is getting all the love at 4-5. Travis Cullen, Jody Cullen. And look at the last mile, 51-4. Was finishing strongly, 27-3 final quarter. But over 10 in the win column makes it tough to take even money.
Yeah, I couldn't take even money on St. Lad's Thriller, one that I put on top last time when he got picked up late. And I've had, others actually, kind of comment that he's one that kind of always, just looks like he's going to get the job done, either gets picked up or just doesn't get there. And I maybe tonight's night he gets it done, but he would do it without me at a price of 6-5, at least on a win ticket.
Number 4, Jack of Clubs, is interesting in here because he was racing well before then missing a start due to sickness. And that last race post-8, and didn't leave it all, which is understandable, but actually gained a lot of ground in the late going, be beaten just 3.5, 55-2. Jack of Clubs could be sitting on a good effort here at a good price of 8-1.
Yeah, I think Jack of Clubs is an interesting one in here. At 7-1, I would say that's probably the value on the board right now, because I don't think this field is too far out of his range when he's at his best. And, last time, he had missed a little bit of time with vet scratch sick, and he had post 8. This time now post 4, and, doesn't have a full field to try to run down whatever spot he ends up in. And if he ever gets on a helmet and comes second over, I think Jack of Clubs can make some noise late. So I like this one in the third spot, but I'd be playing some exactas too with maybe a bit of luck on the Jack of Clubs.
And there's Ken Middleton's top pick, number 6, Crosscut. And Crosscut, that last race is a little better than it looks on paper because, or at least you have to look a little closer. They go to the half in 57, and you're sitting off the pace. So then it's tough to make up ground because the mile went in 51-4, came a 54-4 back half. So solid effort for Crosscut and shows good speed the 2 previous starts, and also was able to win here in a preferred 2 and 3 handicap June the 14th.
Yeah, Crosscut, another one that, I think you've got to consider it here. I didn't like the money this one was taking earlier. It was way too short of a price for me, but 7-2 now is better value. One that's been competitive in the preferred level here at Grand River, gets away from tougher foes at Mohawk Park, and, maybe gets a big piece of tonight at 7-2. I'm just, kind of hesitant because how does he get into the race, especially if he gets away last, which he might do from post 6.
Well, it is a field of 6, and you have Bit of Luck, Rob, at 3-1 from the inside. I'm on the favorite at 6-5, St. Lad's Thriller. Not proud of the price, but that is my top one. This field of 6, Bit of Luck and St. Lad's Thriller. on the inside. In the center, Don't Believe Me and Just Watch, and Jack of Clubs to the outside. Artistic Pick and Crosscut. It's a field of 6, race number 9, and they're approaching the top of the stretch. Here they come. Field for the 9th race is at the start of the route. St. Lad's Thriller is going to leave with Artistic Pig, and then down to the inside, Bit of Luck as they work their way on into that first turn. St. Lad's Thriller's got the lead. On the outside, Artistic Pick is driving. Bit of Luck is filling the pocket. Don't Believe Me, Just Watch is racing fourth. And then Jack of Clubs and Crosscut. But right now it is Artistic Pick who's got the lead, but it's going to be short-lived. Is coming back around is St. Lad's Thriller. Artistic Pick is filling the pocket as they race their way on past the opening quarter. Bit of Luck is third. Then Don't Believe Me, Just Watch, and Jack of Clubs and Crosscut to the outside now is starting to roll. 27-2 the opening quarter. St. Lad's Thriller at 7-5 has the lead as they work off the turn. Artistic Pick is second. Bit of Luck now is going to come to the outside, giving cover to Crosscut, who took out second over. On they work up towards the half. Don't Believe Me, Just Watch on the inside. And then Jack of Clubs, 3 to the inside, 3 to the outside. St. Lad's Thriller on past the half at 56-2 and leads into the backstretch. 29 seconds, second panel, and into the backstretch for St. Lad's Thriller, being challenged by Bit of Luck, who's now just a half length off the lead, working first over. Artistic Pick is on the inside third, and Crosscut is well situated second over. And then on the inside, Don't Believe Me, Just Watch, into the outside, Jack of Clubs at St. Lad's Thriller is sharp on the lead and is driving on. St. Lad's Thriller and Travis Cullen has this one in front by 2 now. Bit of Luck is stalled, and on the inside, Artistic Pick, and 3 wide is Crosscut. It is St. Lad's Thriller leading by 2 1/4. 3/4, 124-3. Artistic Pick is second. Crosscut is looming, though, is sent out 3 wide and is closing, but it's St. Lad's Thriller as they come on down the stretch drive. St. Lad's Thriller continues on. St. Lad's Thriller wins it. St. Lad's Thriller takes it. Crosscut picked up second. Then it was Artistic Pick and Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. St. Lad's Thriller at 7-5. Well, went to the front and knew that's the place to be on the half-mile track, Rob.
Yeah, St. Lad's Thriller all the way on the front end. Well, I had to release Artistic Pick, and then came back around that rival. A bit of luck when I saw him not able to, push through, with a little more authority off the gate. I said, oh, we're in trouble here, because I did not want to see this horse first over or with any kind of overland trip again, and that's exactly what happened, and that pretty much sealed his fate, unfortunately. But Crosscut, was able to use his cover to end up getting into the race and then close late to finish second. Artistic Pick, one that was handled aggressively by Colin Kelly after racing the preferred 3 last time, ends up hitting the ticket at a big number. So interesting, race just for me that, Bit of Luck, didn't have a little more fire off the gates. And if he could ever find what he had, that time that he did wire the field here, then I think he'll be okay. But he's in for some long trips the way he's been racing lately.
An Artistic Pick, that was the second start off the layoff, so maybe now we need to put Artistic Pick on the watch list. 20-1 on the board.
Yeah, rock solid connections too, right? How often do you see Kyle Boston and Colin Kelly go off at 20-1 here at Grand River? It's not very often. Last time 56-1, racing in a tough spot off a long layoff, and now second start back. You could have probably found this one to use somewhere underneath. I didn't, but one to watch for next time.
It is a 2-6-5-3, and St. Lad's Thriller was able to get the job done. It wasn't a thrilling race because St. Lad's Thriller was able to keep on trucking on the lead. 2-6-5-3. St. Lad's Thriller is a 5-year-old Mach 3 brown gelding owned by Rebecca Williamson. Jody Cullen is the trainer. Travis Cullen, the winning driver. First win on the year for St. Lad's Thriller. 153-4. Ninth race payouts, 2 St. Lance Thriller, 490, 330, 270, 6 Crosscut, 690, 220, and 5 Artistic Pick, 530. $2 Exactor, 2070. The Dollar Tri, 80.50. The Dollar Super, 280, 105.
All right, folks. Well, didn't have another winner there. It's been a rough night at the office for me. St. Lad's Thriller, though, finally broke through with a victory, first victory of the season. Nice win there for St. Lad's Thriller. But now we are at the final race of the night. You know what that means? It is your last chance to also bet the Super High Five, or Pentafecta, as Gary calls it. Good chance to end the night on a high note because they typically pay very well. The last one paid over $4,000 for 20 cents, and who knows? Maybe we'll see that here in the finale. It's our feature race, too. Horse and Geldings, preferred 3 on the pace. And, well, Outlaw grabbing gears right now is 1-9, a top selection. This is a horse that I'm fond of, too, but I put this horse on top last time at 3-1. And, granted, had post 6 versus now the pole position tonight. Didn't have much pace to run at when Casimir Ritchie P, got the half in 57 and 4, but still 1-9 is, wow, that's a real short price on number 2 Outlaw grabbing gears here. So still my top selection, but at 1-9, I won't bet any horse at 1-9, especially one that just got beat by 7 lengths in this class last time in 7th. But again, more favorable post, and the trip should go a lot better for this one tonight, but by no means a slam dunk at 1-9. Number 3, Freddie Bear is one I think should provide some value to the ticket, and as post 3 was a winner in the upper condition from the pole position 2 back, and did so with ease at 75 cents to the dollar last time. No chance with post 7 here in the preferred 3, and I just think Freddie Bear from the 2 hole now should get away well and maybe be able to get a big piece of it. I see that Gary very loyal to Freddie Bear. I like that. Gary is loyal to Freddie Bear. Put that one on top, and I use this one in for second. Me and Gary interchanging picks in this last race of the evening. Number 5, Champagne Phil's another bomb I like on the ticket. I see that we're all using this horse somewhere. Ontario Racing, myself, and Ken Middleton putting Champagne Phil in for third, Gary for fourth. Somehow 25-1 on the board, though. I think Champagne Phil kind of figures in here. I really do. And, finished 6th last time in this class here at Grand River from the trailing post, got away well. But I don't know. I just think this horse might, won 2 in a row, should be confident. 3 of his last 4. Champagne Phil, might be able to get a big piece with here. Natasha Day's been driving great lately. So I'm okay using this one at 25-1 to land somewhere on the ticket. Number 6, Brave World. Well, Ontario Racing goes this one on top. I don't mind that pick because this one, should get away well. Got away in the 2 hole from post 8 last time. Now has post 5 tonight with the scratch at number 1 quick tour. And Travis Henry, we've seen him do very well from outside posts, and this one's only got post 5 now, and maybe Brave World gets away well off the gate, even goes to the front, or at least tries to get there. I don't know. Brave World might be one I'd be looking at right now at a price of 6-1, but I don't know if that price will hold come post time, because I'm still shocked that Outlaw Grabbing Gears is bet so low, down to 1-5. Not surprised he's a favorite, just that he's bet down to that low price. Number 9, Premier Joy, was a winner by a neck in the upper condition on August the 30th. 30-1 on the board right now. Going to be following out the 1-5 shot. To me, that's a little bit wild, because if you like Outlaw Grabbing Gears so much at 1-5, well then Premier Joy following that one, should get a pretty good trip, right? Following the big favorite. So 17-1 now on Premier Joy. I'd be using that one in the high 5. I don't have him in my top 4. Kenny went to the second pick with that one. But Premier Joy is one I think you have to use from the trailing post in your Pentafecta wagers, because 19-1 on the board is a big overlay right now on one that just won last time on the front end. Not going to get that trip tonight, but should get a solid trip behind the 3-5 favorite right now. But I think Outlaw Grabbing Gear should be more like, 8-5 come post time. Anyways, the preferred 3 Pacers are making their way on the track, and we're going to do it one more time with Gary Guy after the post parade.
Field 4, race number 10 on parade, 2 Outlaw Grabbing Gears. Paul Davies for Nicole Davies and Deborah Pinnell. Number 3, Freddie Bear, Jason Ryan for a numbered company from Ottawa. Number 4, Better Be Gooda, JR Plot for Blake McIntosh and Leanne Murphy. And 5 is Champagne Film, Natasha Day for Ken Oliver and ICL Racing of Pefferlaw. Number 6, Brave World, Travis Henry for Harry Bolton and the stable. And number 7, he's got Swagger, Travis Cullen for Rachel Andrew. 8 is JJ Powerball, Austin Surrey for Tammy Collings. And number 9 is Premier Joy, Eddie Hensley for Ashley Hensley. Field of 8, race number 10. Let's get a quick look at this field. And Rob, right away, we'll get a look at the 3 to 5. Now, number 2, Outlaw Grabbing Gears. And certainly it warrants a serious look in here. The question will be, where do you think he can get away off the gate?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Because you look at it and you don't see a lot of blasting speed with Outlaw Grabbing Gears, and from the pole position you want to see that from a horse. But I think he'll be able to leave enough that he should be forwardly placed right now. Paul Davies is going to score this one down, and I think that he might be able to push out for the 2-hole or 3-hole of the first turn, but I think he's going to have to remove at them. And I'm just a little bit, concerned taking 1 to 5 on a horse that, I put him on top thinking he'd be, maybe 2 to 1 or something like that, but certainly not hammered down to the 1 to 5 that he is right now.
He certainly is one that we've seen in the past be able to rough it, though. There's number 3, Freddie Bear, 20 to 1 on the board. And look, Freddie Bear belongs in this class. Freddie Bear had 2 wins in the preferred 3 class in March at Flamborough. And when he came back off the layoff, the first 3 starts he was in the preferred 2 and 3 handicap. You also see a couple of thirds here in this class earlier this summer. But Freddie Bear often outraces his odds. 19 to 1, that's a nice little price. Now 16 to 1 on Freddie Bear.
Yeah, I think it's a nice price as well, Gary. I thought this horse, deserves a little more respect in here because it's not like he doesn't race competitively in the preferred 3. Last time, he just want to stroke that one right off the page. Post 7, got away 9th. And when you give Casimir Ritchie P the half and 57 and 4, the race is going to be over. And that's exactly what happened there. So Freddie Bear now with post 2 tonight, he's not going to be that far out of it. I can guarantee you that. And if he's in striking range, look out because we've seen him race really well here at the River.
Well, Champagne Phil is 30 to 1, but he's only got 47 wins. Champagne Phil, that's lovely, 30 to 1.
Yeah, and over 600,000 in the bank, and it's not like you can say, well, yeah, but that was yesteryear with this one. He's 11 years old and he's won 3 of his last 4, and horses like this don't forget how to win. I mean, he's just been a winner his whole career, and I love the way he's been, racing lately. You can say, okay, yeah, the effort here, Grand River August 2nd, maybe wasn't his best, but, Natasha Day aboard, and I love the way she's been driving. She won the driver's title at Clinton, for the meet, and performed really well in the driver's challenge yesterday. So I love the way she's driving. I like the horse 25 to 1. Hey, I can't not put Champagne Phil on my super high 5 tickets.
Number 6, Brave World, beat the preferred 2 class back August the 9th, and Brave World was second in this class from post 8 last time out. Look at his top 2 record, 10 out of 20 in the top 2. Got to be somewhere on the ticket.
Yeah, 9 to 2 actually. That's again, I'm going to say that's the value for me right now because I thought that Outlaw Grabbing Gears would be the favorite, but I thought Brave World will not be too far behind. I put Brave World in for 4th because I was looking for some prices in between. But even 4 to 1 right now on Brave World and a one that should be pointed towards the front, I think. I mean, last time blasted out from post 8. You'd have to think that that's going to be the similar game plan tonight for Travis Henry from post 5 now. So, Brave World, definitely intriguing for me, and maybe if I could redo my selection, she'd be further up the rankings.
And number 9, Premier Joy, is 20 to 1. Look, moves up in class off that last one, but that win was 54 and 4, Rob.
Yeah, I think Premier Joy is a price horse in the super high 5 for sure. And again, if you like the 1, well, we don't have a 1, so if you like the 2, you got to like the 9. right? And 21-1 on Premier Joy is a little bit wild right now, coming off a win and might just be nose to helmet with the horse that is supposed to win the race. So I think you've got to use Premier Joy in your super high five tickets, especially at 22-1.
And I know we don't like the outside post, but 8 JJ Powerball is 25-1. He's dropping from the preferred 2. The last 4 starts were in the preferred 2 class, and he beat the preferred 2 class here. So JJ Powerball now sitting at 30-1. It's an interesting bunch, but 1-2 on Outlaw Grabbing Gears, Rob, as the field takes up their positions. Freddie Bear at 13-1. On the inside, those two with Better Be Good in the center. Champagne Phil and Brave World to the outside. He's got Swagger, JJ Powerball. And the second tier, Premier Joy. The 10th and final dash on a Labor Day Monday as the field is laboring their way towards the top of the stretch. Here they come. And the field for the 10th race is at the start of the rough. Outlaw Grabbing Gears is going to leave. Brave World to the outside. Better Be Good. Freddie Bear is forwardly placed, and on the inside, Premier Joy. Premier Joy is moving right out on the back of Outlaw Grabbing Gears, and Brave World is on the outside, and Freddie Bear is away fourth. Then Better Be Good. Back to Champagne Phil. Then he's got Swagger and JJ Powerball. Brave World at 5-2 took the lead, but now reclaiming the front is Outlaw Grabbing Gears, who's going to come right back around. Brave World is second. Then Premier Joy is racing third in front of Freddie Bear. Then it is back to Better Be Good and Champagne Phil. Then he's got Swagger and JJ Powerball. Outlaw Grabbing Gears 3-5 on the board has got the lead as they race off the turn. Brave World, and then it is Premier Joy, and now moving to the outside, Better Be Good as they race their way off the turn. Outlaw Grabbing Gears, Brave World on the inside. Premier Joy is third, and now it is Better Be Good at taking third, coming first up. Then Premier Joy, part of the outer flow is Champagne Phil. Freddie Bear elects to stay to the inside. Then he's got Swagger and JJ Powerball. Halftime was 58-3. And it is Outlaw Grabbing Gears who's got the front. On the outside, Better Be Good has now just got one to be better than. That is Outlaw Grabbing Gears who leads it by a length. Better Be Good at the outside. Brave World sits the pocket. Champagne Phil is racing second over fourth. And then it is Premier Joy. And then Freddie Bear. And he's got Swagger and JJ Powerball. 3/4 for Outlaw Grabbing Gears, 126-4. And it is Outlaw Grabbing Gears on the outside. Better Be Good. Down to the inside is Brave World. And then it is Champagne Phil and Premier Joy and Freddie Bear. They come on down the stretch by. Outlaw Grabbing Gears continues on up the inside. Brave World, but Outlaw Grabbing Gears was in high gear all the way to the finish and wins it. And then it was Brave World and Better Be Good and Premier Joy. Outlaw Grabbing Gears 155-2. Well, you don't like 3-5, but at least you can like cashing a winning ticket, Rob.
Yeah, it's sad though, Gary. I get two winners in the card, and one was 3-5. The other one was like 1-5, right? I mean, I guess you'll take it where you can get it, but for me, 3-5 was too short of a price on this horse. He went out there and went to the lead early, released Brave World, came back around him, and I think he is the best horse in the race. It's just it's tough to take 3-5. And Brave World, one that I thought was an overlay throughout, got bet down to 5-2 late, and was part of that early speed scenario, and ends up finishing second. We really couldn't get the price on the ticket. I was hoping that maybe Champagne Phil would be able to get up for a bigger piece of it, or Premier Joy I know did, but it ended up kind of coming in pretty formful in here.
And we remarked last time with Brave World and Travis Henry from Post 8. He got a pocket trip with this one. Left Post 5 here, but again was able to get the horse off the gate and then get the trip sitting the pocket after having Outlaw Grabbing Gears reclaim the lead. Nice drive by Travis.
Yeah, Travis, I love what he's doing with these horses with speed on the outside. He's not afraid to put them into play, and he usually finds the right spot. With this one, he went to the lead, and we saw that from Brave World, before, and then he released Outlaw Grabbing Gears, to sit a perfect trip behind that one, and really that was probably his best path to victory, and just couldn't get a horse that was too good tonight. Listen, I love what he's doing right now, and we'll be watching for him from the outside of the gate, that's for sure.
And with the one scratched, if you like the 2, you got to like the 9. Premier Joy, fourth, 19-1.
Yeah, Premier Joy I thought was some serious value. Ended up taking more support to 19-1 late, and your horse Freddie Bear, he ended up getting shuffled along the pylons there, but came through to get a share of it, and I think we'll see more from Freddie Bear in the near future.
It's a 2-6-4, 9-3. Coming back in front of us is number 2, Outlaw Grabbing Gears. A 5-year-old smart shark bay gelding, owned by Paul and Nicole Davies and Deborah Pinnell. Paul Davies, the trainer and the winning driver. It is the 5th win this year, 27th lifetime. Outlaw Grabbing Gears, 155-2. The 10th race payouts to Outlaw Grabbing Gears, 330, 250, 210, 6 Brave World, 330, 260, 4 Better Be Good at 260, dollar win for 4 of 4, 44.15, $2 exact rate 50, dollar try 16.25, the double $9.90. Dollar win for 44.15, the dollar high five 307.85. Well, fans, that does conclude the live harness racing program for this Monday evening. Racing resumes this Wednesday. Our first race will go to post at 6:30 p.m. Buenas noches, amigos. Good night, everybody. Good night, Christine.
Good night, Gary.
Good night, Robert.